Hello, everybody. It's been a while, I know. What, the last one was in November or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Last week of November? Let's see here. Where did
Or the
I...
first week of December, but
May have been, yeah.
it's been a while.
It was November 24th. We talked about Prisoners of Ghostland and Lady Snowblood and Black Narcissus. That's literally the last time we did this? Holy shit. Wild.
Wow.
Wild. Okay, say something.
Something.
I gotta turn you up. Say something again.
Something.
Get loud.
Getting loud.
La 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 la. Okay. That might be too loud, but we'll figure it out. Chat will let me know. Chat will let me know.
Chat.
That was that was the worst Batman impression I think I've ever done in my entire life. But I don't feel guilty about it because fuck y'all.
Yeah.
So how has your December been so far? Since we haven't even met in the whole all of December. Well, we have movies,
Um,
but
it's been okay. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been uh bad. It's just been okay.
it's probably the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah, damn.
But it's hard to like judge. You know, you can't just like it's. I say that knowing full well that that's I can't. Maybe I could be wrong. I'm pretty fucking depressed. Like I put on my private account. Like I was like having really bad spirals like all day. Today I've been crying a lot because I'm definitely hormonal. Literally, my cat like mewed at me, and I was just like, oh, and so started crying. Uh, I saw a post about The Matrix by a trans woman artist, and that made me cry. And then Roberto in our movie chat in Discord, uh, also said was like, oh, and she also did like this other thing, which is like Godzilla, the coming out day thing for Godzilla, where it was her national, it was a train, it was trans month awareness, whatever. I can't remember the month or the day. The National Trans Awareness Day or some non. I can't remember. I'm a terrible trans person. All right. Uh, I'm not a terrible trans person. I'll just put that out there. I try, but I can't remember shit. So, cause I got a broken head, and so like, yeah, that came out, and that I watched that again, made me cry. And then, like, my friends were saying nice things about me, and then I made me cry. And then Justin sent me a gift, a box of gifts, which included a blanket, which I'm not wearing because I'm streaming right now. Uh, and it's exactly what I needed, and it fucking made me cry. And, like, it's been a day. Can you move to your right a little bit? Yeah, like that. Mostly because you have to be that now you're in the middle of your frame. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to the guy in the corner of your frame. Like, hey guys, welcome to the movie chat. You're like squished down on the one side of the frame. There you go. That's one way to making it work.
Ah.
I mean, you're more centered here. I need to. I'm not gonna edit it. I'll be fine. We'll be just fine.
I needed caffeine, so I made a tea.
Oh, I have a soda. Same reason.
But yes, it's this month mostly has just been um okay, just because the whole family situation right now is crazy. Or rather, like usually there's a certain amount of Christmas spirit in the air, and there's just literally none here right now. It's the
Uh,
first year I've ever experienced just
Year two of a
nothing.
pandemic will do that to somebody, I think.
And
Ooh, excuse me.
on top of that, there was also like the we had a minor car accident like a week or two ago, and
Yeah.
that was crazy.
God, that sucks.
And and the end of November was freaking awful because
It was.
the
Yeah.
toilet was clogged, and
the plumber fixed it and then it was clogged the next
and
that like
and
12 hours later.
so the cost of the plumber and the cost of the car repairs, we just had to pay for the insurance premium or whatever. But like all that together, it's like, and now everybody's broke and we can't afford anything. It's like Merry fucking Christmas.
You want to see my present for my parents?
Flat.
It's a flashlight. It's a it's a crank flashlight. So it's like you crank it to charge the battery type flashlight, and then it's got a bunch of settings, including please rescue me mode, where it's flashing. Please don't hit me for car mode, whatever you want to call it.
Excellent.
But yeah, I mean, it's actually a pretty nice gift because it's made of it's got like actual metal body. So I mean, it's not like it's cheap. It's just like, oh, thanks. That was it. Like, okay. I don't know what to say about that. What's going on here? Oh, I put it together. Hold on, I collapsed it wrong. I was like, why is it not sitting flush? Oh, because I'm a dumbass. Right. Got it. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we start things off? Do you want to talk about Fat Man from 2020?
Oh my god. I actually kind of low-key loved that movie.
I'll give it this benefit. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I know that's not a lot, but it was a Mel Gibson movie, and they are very, very hit and miss. When he's on fire, he's very good. Get the Gringo, Edge of Darkness. When he's not on fire, it's very not good. Examples of that would be like Lethal Weapon 4. I'm kidding. Like Daddy's Home.
He was in Daddy's Home?
Yeah. I would.
Okay.
He was really great in The Beaver too. Forever Young, I didn't really like him in that. Or Air America. I gotta rewatch. I need to rewatch Air America. So I remember not liking this movie. But also, the thing about Air America is the film school I went to school with was the former studio in which Air America was filmed at. It's just a random.
Well, yes, everybody knows there are issues with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, he's a hugely problematic person.
But I think
100%.
what I loved about Fat Man the most was that it was just so over the top ridiculous. Like, they took an idea that was actually kind of interesting and curious and funny, and they went completely over the top with it.
Look, here's the reality.
It was beautiful.
This is great, and I think this would be even better if it was Nicolas Cage. That's how I feel about this movie.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's how I feel about this movie.
No offense.
No, yeah. All the offense to Mel Gibson, but I still like the movie, mind you. I gave it 6 out of 10. I think I gotta double check. Yeah, 6 out of 10.
I gave it a 7 out of 10, and then honestly, with reflection, it might even be an 8 out of 10.
It's almost a 7 out of 10. It's like borderline. And borderline. In a few years, we're gonna watch it again, and that's when the real decision will come in.
I can see myself watching this every single year because it is a lot of fun, and yes, the whole aspect of like
Fat Man. Oh my god.
A contract killer coming to kill Santa Claus is what sells this movie for me. It's so ridiculous, and I love it.
In the future,
but there's also the U.S. government is working with Santa Claus thing. It's just like...
just for future reference, in the future, when I have room to put the third monitor up, I don't have the room. I have the old scrounge monitor from back in the day. I'm gonna put that up just so that when we're streaming, I can actually show the posters for everybody. I'm gonna have I'm gonna like measure out the specific window for like Letterbox and just pull up the Letterbox page, and hide and show the element. I just had that flashman, but I had to say it out loud so it's recorded on the document at least. Anyway, sorry. Fat Man is about Santa Claus. What was it? Wait, he was getting mad. He's mad at somebody. What the fuck? I literally just went blank. No, I just went blank. My brain's been really fuzzy today.
Santa Claus.
Fuck.
Let me tell the story here.
Please.
Santa Claus is not doing too well on the money front.
Right. Okay.
And he's reliant upon the U.S. government to,
He didn't.
help him out.
So Santa Claus lives. They're in Newfoundland, I think, or somewhere north of Newfoundland, somewhere in the wilds of fucking Canada, and he's actually got government subsidizing to keep the elves and everyone working. Okay, and this year the subsidies ran short. They got cut because of the defense budget. So they make a contract with the U.S. government defense department to make U.S. arms for drones, I believe specifically.
Yeah. Make drones for the U.S.
Yes, that is. I think that is correct, and that's the premise of the setup, I should say. That's the whole setup, and then he goes on revenge. And he just.
Well, no, it's not just that though.
Oh, it's more than that.
There's also a bratty little kid who is from a rich family.
Oh yes.
And.
Oh yes.
Yeah. The mother and the father in this
coming back to me now.
Almost entirely out of this scenario.
They're on vacation in the Bahamas or something. He says.
It's implied that they're pretty much always on vacation. That they never see.
That is true.
And the only person ever taking care of him is his grandmother, who is kind of not all there anymore.
She's senile. It's implied she's senile.
She has control of all the money. But he knows how to get whatever money he wants from her and use it for whatever he wants. So, one Christmas, Santa gives him coal for Christmas, and he, in the most comical way, they do the whole him walking out of the house, and almost like cursing the clouds or whatever, like. Santa! It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's coming back to me as soon as you started mentioning it. So yeah,
then the little kid hires, because he's a rich kid and he knows how to get the money from his grandma. With grandma knowing, he hires an actual contract killer, who for some reason, before any of this happened, was already completely obsessed with Santa Claus and owning and collecting actual toys made by Santa, which are in fact for some reason a market in this universe.
It's
just so wild.
It's so it starts off kind of serious, and then I feel like it's 8, maybe 10 minutes in, it just takes a hard fucking left into not realistic in the least, and it's beautiful. It goes off the rails quite literally as a movie. It's good stuff. I was expecting, okay, when Justin is over here oh, let's watch this movie, and I'm like, oh, it's Mel Gibson. I did kind of have preconceived notions, Fat Man, the poster looks real generic. The premise on paper sounds really kind of like a bad kids movie. That's what it sounds like. And we try it up, and it's not for kids in the slightest. Your kids will be scarred if they watch this fucking movie. It was, I would say, it far exceeded my expectations of a 1-star affair into a 6-star affair, and almost, I think after another watch in a couple years, I'll probably have a different opinion about it. It's one of those movies that's I think it's gonna grow on me, and yes, Mel Gibson's a terrible person, and yes, I will keep saying that to remind you, because we have to remind, because I just, there's just, there's just a lot of people who are rat bastards in the industry, and the funny thing is, the fucked up thing is y'all motherfuckers idolize some of the bad ones, because on paper they look good. I'm just saying, and you won't know till years from now, so it's
yeah.
It's just one of those things. Fuck. I'm not saying that what he did was right or excusable. Be very clear. He made anti-Semitic and racist statements while verbally abusing his partner. So, not a good guy. But he played a really good Santa Claus. So, I don't know. It was an okay movie.
We also said, as you said, Nicolas Cage would have been better in this role.
Oh, 1,000%. If Nick Cage would have taken this, if he wasn't doing, I don't know, any other movie he was doing, he would have been so perfect for this. Like, so perfect.
It would have become a Christmas classic, I think.
If this was Nick Cage, I would have given it like 9 stars.
I feel like
I think Mel Gibson knocked off quite a few stars for
Mel
his
Gibson
existence.
kind of drags it down because I
A little
feel
bit,
like
yeah.
the public at large would have known more about this movie and actually watched this movie and enjoyed it more if it was Nicolas Cage as Santa Claus.
Well, a lot of more people will be watching it for the meme because a lot of people think Nicolas Cage is a meme because they don't appreciate him, like we do here on this stream here.
Else happening in the movie.
We are huge Nicolas Cage stans.
Nicolas Cage, and it's just like, it's the thing is, it's like it's the kind of movie that actually suits Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean?
Yes. If I were to say there's a dream guest for this show, it would be Nicolas Cage. I so want to interview Nick Cage someday. Even if it's just like 10 minutes of fucking time. Just, oh my god. That'd be so cool.
Someday we'll have $1 million. So we can afford to...
Just pays a appearance fee. I mean, look, if Twitch became a thing and I'd pay my bills okay, I will save up and pay Nick Cage's appearance fee to come be on the show so we can ask him stupid questions about the movies he's been in. Because we have a lot of dumb questions about the movies he's been in. So, and I love his movies so fucking much, and I really want him to I want him to gush. I would just be like, who's your favorite? I'll just be like, who's your favorite Green Lantern villain? Just let him go. Just go. Just do it. Or whoever. Who's your favorite Superman villain? Oh, it's blah, 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 blah. Tell me. And then I just ask him a million questions about that. Cause that's like, he thinks he's gonna come on here and get interviewed about the movie he's been in. I'm gonna be like, what's your favorite Lego set, bitch? You know, like, I mean, you're gonna have to tell me your favorite Lego set. I'm trying to get rid of the word bitch from my lexicon. I apologize. That is something I'm actively trying to do for myself, not for anyone other than myself. Because I realize I use it in the wrong context sometimes, like that. That was the wrong context. So, and that is what we call learning, kids. I'm just learning. Teach myself. I'm choosing to be this way. Next, I guess we'll talk about Ernest Saves Christmas. It's like the greatest Christmas movie ever made in the entirety of humankind. It's one of the few Christmas movies I mark a 10 out of 10.
I think it's a very good Christmas movie.
I will fight
but I
you,
don't think
motherfucker.
It's the greatest one ever made, personally.
Bro, you were lucky you live so far away. No, I'm a huge Jim Varney mark. I mean, like, we and Justin were watching Dutch, which is a Thanksgiving movie. We won't talk about it during this stream. But we were watching Dutch, and I said during it, you know, there's a universe out there where Jim Varney and Ed O'Neill were in a buddy cop movie, and this universe is sadder for not having that exists.
Of course. There are a lot of things that didn't happen in this universe that should have happened. And,
yes.
It's very unfortunate.
Like the Jodorowsky Dune, and
yes, exactly.
Which would have been like pure insanity. I couldn't even. How would you describe that?
Was a documentary about it. That's all we get. That's all we get in this universe.
We should.
What could have been.
We should rewatch that and then talk about that on the show.
Yes.
That might be a good thing to do, to revisit. I've been thinking about that one for a while too. I need to rewatch the Matrix films for the Matrix movie coming out this week. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I hate watching movies by myself. Anyway, Ernest Saves Christmas from 1988. It's my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I think it shows a great veracity. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Variance, something like that. I'm looking for a word like that. I can't find the word.
I need more context to help.
Variance, variety, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking for the word that's like that. It's similar to.
I need to know what comes after.
Like Jim Varney's blank acting skill. It's a blank. Yeah.
Range.
Range? No, that wasn't, but something similar to that. That's the problem. Is my brain is thinking of the word, and I cannot get it from here to here.
I think variance could work on variance of.
Yeah, he's just got a really wide range. You're right. What is your thing? A wide range of acting like ability, and you can see his characters range from an old lady, and it's not transphobic like you often see because the difference between a cross like a person just playing a character and a person who is making a joke out of a man in a dress is simply that the fact that Ernest never plays the character as a man in a dress. It's literally an old woman he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's like literally the line. That is the line between okay and transphobic. It's a very fine line, okay, and a lot of movies really toe that line. We watched Boy Meets World. In fact, we watched an episode of Boy Meets World, and a lot of
good job of towing the line.
a lot of that episode was good, but then there's a moment where Corey Matthews steps out in a woman's dress, and the audience laughs for a solid minute, and you're like, they're laughing because he's in a dress, not because something funny happened. And that you're like, ooh. And then otherwise an okay episode, okay? So, like, there are good things. There's a really good discussion about consent here in that episode, by the way. I got distracted from fucking Ernest Saves Christmas. Anyway, Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest gets a hold of Santa's bag by mistake because it's left in his back seat, and then Ernest goes on a grand adventure to return said bag to Santa Claus at the same time Santa Claus is going on a grand adventure to find said bag. That's literally the entire plot of the movie. What happens in the middle is the beauty, is the comedy.
It's the genius.
It's the genius. Thank you.
I will go as far to say, and this is verifiably true, and if anybody disagrees with this, they're just wrong. Ernest Saves Christmas is the best Ernest movie.
Oh, I flip flop between that and Ernest Scared Stupid. And some people think Ernest Goes to Camp was the best one, and Ernest Goes to Jail was the best one. So there are four. Those are the four best ones for sure. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
I think that it's really close to all of those. I really do. It just depends on my mood. Christmas is the one closest to my heart because I saw it in theaters when it came out as a little kid. You know, and it was magical to me because like I was like, oh, is that how Santa's bag works? You know, I was a little kid, so I still believed in Santa, right? The concept around the bag is like a bag of holding, and I think this is like one of the earlier depictions of that. And in the way it's a magical item where someone can reach in, and it doesn't give you what you want right now, like a bag of money. It gives you your inner child's most desire. So people like pulling out toys. Like, why don't I want a toy? I want $1 million. Pulls out a toy. It is. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the dude who wrote this, I don't know who his name is. I will look it up right now. Was a D&D player. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
There's no writer credit on Letterboxd. Why do you do this to me, Letterboxd? Ed Turner and B. Klein. B. Klein, I would be guessing, is only credited for Ernest Saves Christmas.
Wow.
All right. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of people in Hollywood who do work on scripts and never get credit, and they get paid good money for it, and they pay their bills. I know one screenwriter in particular. It's a friend of mine who's literally just a guy who punches up dialogue. Almost all those fucking comedies for the last, 10 years, he's worked on most of them. You know, just... And he doesn't get credited. He just gets fucking paid really good money for what he's doing. For him, it's just a couple hours of work, and he gets paid months' worth of money for rent and food, and he lives a very modest life. So it's there are people in the industry who are doing that. And who knows? Maybe that's what that guy does. Fuck if I know. I'm not trying to make any decisions about him. Is there any other note? There's literally not many. Oh, Noelle Parker plays Harmony. She's in a bunch of movies, At Close Range and 7 Minutes in Heaven, I think. Fuzzy about that. I've seen those two, so. Noah Parker. She was on TV, I believe, right? We gotta go to IMDb for that. Oh yeah, she was on the show Sisters. For 2 years. It was like 14 episodes. A bunch of other TV appearances. She is a character actor of appearance, it seems. Anyway, she's in this. She's great. It's Harmony.
I love the interaction between the two guys. I can't remember what
Chuck
their
and
names are.
Bobby. Bill Burge.
Yes.
That's Bill Burge and Gaylord Sartain. They were also in Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest goes to jail. Ernest goes to school. In case you're curious.
It's just such a classic comedy duo setup that they've got going on in those movies.
They're
I think it's
great.
two of my they're in my two favorite Ernest movies, which is Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Saves Christmas. So, yeah.
I mean, like, I just there's an incredible fun energy about this movie. Like everyone's just all in on it. Like Chuck and Bobby are like these guys who work at the shipping courier place, and like they've got custody of these reindeer, and they keep like pooping everywhere and attaching themselves to the ceiling and zooming around, and it's just these great little vignettes in the middle of the movie to kind of like break up the Ernest stuff. I mean, it does connect to the rest of the movie, but it's just like
They even fit a Hey Vern segment in this movie.
this is in fact, this is the only movie in which Vern is a character.
Yeah.
So, also, this is the only one that's on Disney, I think.
The point at which I kind of stopped watching, or rather didn't stop watching, but stopped really enjoying Ernest movies, was probably in the mid '90s with like when he like Ernest Goes to School and
Ernest Goes to School was
goes
okay.
to Africa and all that. Like, oh my god!
I think probably I haven't seen it,
They weren't that good.
but I'll venture a date and say that Ernest Goes to Africa was probably riddled with racism or cultural faux pas.
Possibly.
There's also
Yeah.
Ernest lives in the army. By the way, they're all on Peacock.
Oh no.
We should probably watch a few of them. Slam Dunk Ernest. Slam Dunk Ernest was the other one I remember very fondly, even though I'm sure it's not good.
Yeah, I don't remember that one very fondly, honestly. But to be fair, there weren't many good basketball movies out at the time. Like,
To
there
be
was
fair,
a lot of
was that
basketball
The Sixth
movies
Man?
that
Was
weren't
that
very good.
movie The Sixth Man, where he
Yeah,
kidnaps the guy?
yeah, I was thinking about The Sixth Man. Yeah,
Oh boy, that
was.
fucking
I mean,
movie.
there was Celtic Pride. You
Oh,
remember
Celtic Pride. Oh my God. Oh, Celtic Pride, whatever it's called. Yeah, whatever. I don't watch any sports ball at all. I don't mean any offense. I literally don't watch any sports ball, or sports puck, or egg ball. I don't watch any of those. I don't watch any of that stuff. Like, it's not my thing. I like my sports to be scripted, so, or predetermined, I should say. That's why
God,
that's why I watch pro wrestling.
I just had a memory of Up in the Air too.
Oh,
also
and this white
White
man can't jump,
Man
which we have to
Can't Jump.
rewatch. I bet you that's really good.
That one is actually. I stand by that. That one's actually.
We should rewatch a bunch of these.
Like Rosie Perez is secretly in there. You know, there's some.
Secretly, she's not secretly in there. She's on the fucking
People
poster.
forget that she was in the movie.
Yeah, they only think about the two mains, in their
Yeah.
interactions. Which, that's why you're there, because those two have chemistry, like real chemistry. You know what you also need to rewatch is Kingpin. I haven't seen that in a good 15 years.
Oh god, that one will be interesting.
I don't think so. I think there's
am
content in
pretty
there I probably
sure.
don't like, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some pretty offensive stuff. See,
Yeah.
that's the problem when it comes to the Farrelly brothers, it's like
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
their stuff now. It's
me,
like,
myself, and
oh,
Irene, I can't even watch it. Like, you're like, there's
oh,
a joke
Jesus.
about, oh no, he put a dildo in his butt. What a horrible thing. Like, whatever, dude. Just have fun. Prostate orgasms rule. Shut up. Like, fuck, dude. Like, but no, there's jokes like that in that movie, and you're like, it's like a lot of it's homophobic. There's a lot of homophobic jokes in those.
Yeah. Sadly.
Low hanging fruit. It's easy comedy. They're just making money.
Yeah.
Not that I agree with it or condone it.
Anyways, Ernest Saves Christmas.
It's fucking
I
great.
I would say
This conversation's been
S
everywhere.
tier. S tier Christmas movie.
S tier Christmas movie. We should start doing things in tiers. I should just open up Tier Maker every episode, and just we should. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I don't want to deal with importing all the images, but that'd be great. Yeah, okay. Ernest Saves Christmas, S tier Christmas movie. I agree. Batman is a B tier, I would say.
Fair, fair.
Almost A tier. I mean, it's like it's towing the line. All right. Gremlins. Do you have anything you want to talk about Gremlins?
I mean, what hasn't already been said about Gremlins?
Oh,
I believe actually that Gremlins 3, the unofficial
finally.
sequel, is coming out
When?
soon, like this week or so. I don't know when exactly, but like
What?
I'm not talking about like a major studio production. I'm talking about that one that guy did. Like he's like a YouTuber made a fucking weird ass not real Gremlins movie that he called Gremlins 3.
What?
I'm not kidding. This is a thing. This is a thing.
All right, Gremlins 3. Dawn of Desmond? Is that what this is?
I
No.
think that's it. Hold on.
Oh man. Oh no. What am I gotten into? Fan film.
Yeah, I think it's Dawn of Desmond. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Oh boy.
It's
Apparently it got taken down? No. Oh no, it's coming. He made a song called Here Comes the Gremlin Man? What the fuck? He also made a Spirit Halloween theme song.
yes.
What the hell am I looking at? Like, also it's made a song called Joe Biden Wants to Take Your Meat. Oh no.
There's a whole lore behind this guy, but yeah. It's not a real Gremlins sequel.
Looks like this guy is like a right winger. He wants to get on Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, oh boy. Anyway, never mind. Fun over. Everyone go home.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny somebody was making a fucking Gremlins movie.
Do you have any memories of Gremlins then, since we don't have anything interesting to say? Because we really don't. It's like a classic movie. I mean, what else could we say about the actual quality of the movie?
No, I don't really have any memories of Gremlins other than just watching it a lot as a kid and enjoying it quite a
I
bit.
watched some TV special, either as an episode of Movie Magic, which is a show about special effects that was on, I think, Discovery at the time, way back when they actually did good programming, and it wasn't just like, here's my family and you can all gawk at us because we're all little people. It feels exploitative. Anyway, that stuff, it feels really exploitative and like weird, and I don't watch it. But like back then, they had a show called Movie Magic, and I think it was on that show. Maybe it was like some other TV special, but like they showed like the making of like, or like the animatronics behind the Gremlins and stuff. And it's one of those things that made me fascinated with special effects. I became obsessed with special effects. Like I knew movies were fake by that point, but finding out how they made fake, I mean, like they were fiction, they're made up. You know, they're not like documentaries. And so like finding that out, I was just a little kid, like maybe 10. And I checked out this book called Monsters, or something. I think it's something called Monsters. It's just some little silly book from the 80s, like early 80s, right? And I think the latest thing they have in there was fucking The Thing from 1982. But they did like 2 or 3 page write-ups, of big fucking text, so like half a page write-ups on a bunch of movies, and they had a bunch of photos, and some of those photos just fascinated me. But seeing that Gremlins clip is what caused me to go to the library, find the only book in my grade school that had fucking anything to do with special effects, and then I stole it, and I still own it, and I'll never fucking return it. They can kiss my ass. I mean, like I
Uh,
was obsessed with that book. I'm still obsessed with the book. I have the book. It's just stored away right now.
I think one of my favorite things now, all grown up about this movie, is getting to see Dick Miller actually have like a definable,
Oh
pretty
yes,
significant role in a movie.
he is more
Because the
than
thing
just
is,
a random character.
he usually gets the random character
Yep.
treatment. He's in a movie for maybe all of 2 or 3 minutes, plays the cop or the neighbor or whatever the heck, and just gets maybe 1 or 2 lines in, you know. But in this movie, he actually plays like a character who's talking. He There's a scene where he gets drunk early on and he starts rambling about how he was in World War II
Yeah.
and there were gremlins that they sent over from
Yeah.
Japan or
Which is
whatever.
where which is referencing the original idea of what Gremlins
Yeah,
were.
exactly. So like it gives you an idea of what gremlins were in this movie called Gremlins if you don't have any reference to understand why somebody would call something like that a gremlin, you know. It,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it provides some context. And then you get to see him later at home watching TV. You get to see his wife. And then, like, it's just, you get to see a fully developed character. And what's even better, Joe Dante loved him because he brings him back for Gremlins 2, even though it's implied in the first movie
He
that
might be
that
dead.
character might be dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. but
So
but instead he gets to wander around New York in a side story that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. He's just there to get tormented by gremlins, and he's there because Joe Dante loves him. And fuck you if you don't like him. That's
yeah,
basically that's how
fuck yeah.
that's Joe Dante's. That's Joe Dante's. Like you can see that level of love from Joe Dante in the fact that he cast him. He's in a bunch of Joe Dante movies, so it's not just one.
You know what else I realized about this movie? Like Gremlins 2 at least. We also watched Gremlins
Yeah,
2.
we're
It's
just gonna
not
roll into Gremlins
necessarily
too, obviously. Yeah.
it's not necessarily a Christmas movie, but it's related to Gremlins, which is a Christmas movie. So
It's a winter film. Everyone's in winter
yeah,
clothes. They're just
yeah,
in New York City, so it's not quite, and it's not technically Christmas season, but it's not saying it isn't Christmas season. It's just
yeah.
saying it's winter in New York, and they're on the
Um,
and Dick Miller and his wife, or and his character's wife, are in New York on vacation. By
yeah.
happenstance, and the Gremlins show up again, of course.
My favorite thing that I noticed this time is that the guy who runs the building where they're all working and all that, who is clearly a reference in some ways to Donald Trump.
In
That
fact, the
character,
trivia says he was, in fact, his demeanor and mannerisms were, in fact, inspired largely by Donald Trump. So there you go.
he's played by the same man who also plays uh, Bryce. I want to say Bryce Howard, maybe Bryce. I can't remember what is the character's name is specifically in Scrooged.
Oh, yes, he plays one of the execs in Scrooge. Yes, Scrooge.
I'm pretty
Which we
sure it
also
is. I
watched.
didn't double check that, but I'm pretty damn sure it's the same actor.
Right now.
I'm gonna double check that before
But we also
anybody
watched
just
Scrooged,
takes my
actually.
word for it. Yes.
Because we watched all the classics this year. We actually haven't watched all the classics in a couple years. It's just been. We've been exploring other things for a while. Was it? Is that him? No. Was it this guy?
John Glover. Yes, it was
Yes,
him.
John Glover. That's
Yes.
him. Yeah.
Bryce Cummings,
He's,
that's his name. In
who the
Scrooged.
fuck is he in Batman and Robin? Wait, what? He's in Batman and
Good
Robin?
question.
I'm looking
Is
at it
he
right now.
Batman and Robin?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He plays
After Jason Woodrue?
Woodrue. I don't know who the fuck that is. He's also in RoboCop 2.
He plays the Riddler in Superman the Animated Series.
Oh, really? That's cool. Oh yeah, John Glover plays the Magnavolt salesman in RoboCop 2.
He's one
small
of
role.
those guys. You know, you've seen him before.
He's in 52 Pickup, a movie I've been wanting to see for a while, which is on the Justin watch list, which is a Roy Scheider, John Frankenheimer joint. But yeah, no, he's in a bunch of movies, like a bunch of them, and he's a character actor. The thing about Joe Dante is, guess what? He loves character actors, so
Yeah.
he's in a bunch of stuff.
And he's perfect for that role of the corporate douchebag.
100,000%. 100,000%.
I'm
Where's
glad he didn't
Gremlins?
get like typecast as just that, though. You know.
Oh yeah, I agree. That would really suck. Add to the list.
We had to.
Films.
Sadly, I couldn't find my copy
Discuss.
of Scrooged, so we had to watch the TV cut. Which
Fucking sakes.
it's
That
so
hurt my
cut
soul.
down. They cut. It really upset me that they cut out like an entire fucking scene. I'm like, I can understand cutting things for time, but like an entire scene.
An entire scene.
And then
So
so the things they chose to cut out because or censor rather, and other things they didn't. They didn't censor the fucking creepy ass goblin ghost things in the Ghost of Christmas
Right.
Future, but they
They were just
did
cut out
censor like fucking certain words. And
the
shit
words
like
balls for some reason.
yes.
They cut out something like "ow my balls" or shit, something like that. It was something I can't remember the exact context, but like,
I know they censored the word pussy, which is funny because
of course,
it's literally just a shortening of pusillanimous. It's like this isn't. It's
yes, but it
it
refers to
has
a
certain
vagina.
connotations,
Yeah,
but like
I mean, I'm okay with that because that's toxic masculinity. We can cut those. We can bleep those out of TV. Calling someone a pussy is, I literally just call myself out for the same fucking thing. So, when you call someone a bitch, it's the same thing.
mm,
You're implying that they're weak in some way. It's toxic masculinity, and yeah, that's why.
well, no,
That's
but I don't. I'm saying I don't think that pussy is directly tied. I think it has over time become tied.
yeah, and it doesn't. Then and then
Femininity.
in the time that was made, it was also still a vagina.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
All right, take your word for it.
It's been a derogatory term for a long time. The implication being that you're somehow a lesser man for being afraid or worried or something. Like, who gives a fuck?
I
Yeah.
didn't know it was gendered though. That's not my thing.
It's often hurled at men, almost solely, I would say, hurled at men as a way to insult them.
This is true.
This is why I say it's toxic masculinity. And like I said, I literally caught myself calling someone a bitch earlier in the same stream. So it's like progression.
Yeah.
Progress! Where SJW
Progress
is
is
super
not allowed
sorry.
here.
So super sorry, I want justice on a social level. Oopsies.
How dare you?
How dare I? So yeah, I think it's actually pretty cool that we watched the censored version so we can talk about, like, it trimmed some scenes for, like, in the middle of the put a little love in your heart scene, they fucking went to commercial. And we come back and
Yeah.
it's like a minute later in the scene, like there's a whole bunch of stuff, like half the song's cut out. It was like wild. It was like, okay. Like weird cuts like that. Yeah.
It's just like I haven't watched anything off of cable in probably 10 years. It's been
Same.
a long fucking time.
15, 10,
So,
something like that. Cut the cable a
and
long
I
time
knew
ago.
it was getting bad at that point in terms of like the decisions they would make on where to make cuts and how to make cuts and whatnot. I knew it was getting bad at that point and it had already been bad in several ways, even earlier than that. But like, it has gotten, at this point, I want to say unbearable, like unacceptable. Like honestly, unacceptable conditions. Cable, unacceptable.
I think the problem is the commercial breaks are even longer than the TV cuts were originally made for, so they're cutting even more stuff out. I think that's the thing.
There's also the problem that most movies they don't want to. They're like, this movie we are only willing to give it a 2 hour time block, 2 hours, and that's it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So, but we're gonna force you to fit in 40 minutes of ads in this 2 hour time block. So it's like
yeah.
they're cutting down I think it's an hour and 45 minute
And
movie basically to an hour and 20 minutes.
I have
And
to
it's
correct
like,
I have to correct past me for complaining about ad links on Twitch when I get 10 ads, because that's literally exactly the same as network television ad space breaks.
yeah,
We
it's
literally sat through a
ridiculous.
5 minute ad break.
Well, we didn't sit through it. Thankfully, we
Oh,
skipped
right. We
through it,
skipped through it.
but
You're
it
right.
was still like I was shocked how many
We
times I
sat
had to
through
hit the
half of
skip
one because
button.
we were talking and realized we could skip. That's when we realized I think they
Yeah,
were so long, as we were literally talking and then, oh shit,
I
this is
just
really
go
long.
and skip, skip. I usually after like 3 or 4 skips, it's like okay, we've got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the 30-second skips. There was one ad break there where I had to skip 10 fucking times.
Which is 5 minutes.
30, yeah, 30
which is a
seconds, 10 times
which
is
is a 10
5 minutes
ad
of ads.
which is a 10 ad block on
Jesus
Twitch.
Christ.
It's literally the same thing. But I'm also not paying for a subscription. I'm not paying $50 a month for Twitch.
Man.
So at the same time, so I would retract my complaint, even though fuck Amazon all the same because they make billions of dollars. Anyway,
Yeah.
they can afford to just eat the fucking cost of Twitch and never have to worry about it because they make so much money through everything else. All right, so Scrooged. I really liked Scrooged. As usual. I mean, it's just a great movie. It's like
One of my favorites.
it's literally
I
a
wish I could
toxic,
find my copy.
hateful person who's self-centered, and like through it's just a movie about how if you just have a little self-reflection, you can just be a better person. That's
Yep.
it. Look back and see how you treated people. See what those kind of what treating people like shit can cause. Like what harm that does. Because they were told the people who raised you said words don't hurt because they were toxic assholes who had no fucking who wouldn't get in trouble for their shit. And now they're getting
No repercussions. Yeah.
canceled. I mean, they're getting
Now they're
consequenced.
getting,
Excuse me.
yeah, it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. That's exactly
Exactly.
what it is. And it's like exactly what it should have always been. And there were times in the past
And no one who
when
gets
there
canceled
were
is actually
people,
canceled. So,
yes. What
unfortunately.
gets me is like there were times in the past when people would face consequences for being terrible people, and the general public would be in agreement with that. But now there's this whole segment of the general public that's like, no, nobody should ever suffer any consequences for anything bad they do. The fuck are you talking about? Or anything bad they say? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Didn't we cancel Michael
Look,
Richards, quote unquote, cancel, or rather, require him to suffer the consequences for using the N word several, like, 20 years
here's the
ago
reality. These are the
now?
same people who go to church, and the church are telling them that the only people who can judge them are God. So who gives in their mind, who cares about the consequences here on earth? The only one they have to really talk to is God, and they think they're good people. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem with righteousness. It's often held wrongly and used as a sword
Yes.
against the weak when it shouldn't have been. Should always
Yes.
be sword of righteousness should always be wielded against the powerful, to silence the silencer, basically.
Those, like, who are so quick to judge are just. That's the thing. The people who say you shouldn't judge me, only God can judge me, are the most judgmental people on earth.
Yes,
Almost always.
a
Without exception.
1,000,000,000 fucking percent, and it's ridiculous. You know what this?
It's like, well, what gives you the right to judge other people then? You do it all the time. Why?
Do you know what
You know?
blends perfectly into this discussion? Better Watch Out from 2016.
Oh, yes. Ah, yes.
You talk about a movie about male entitlement.
I want to explain to you what I thought
Please.
this movie was.
Please
before
explain.
we started watching it.
Even though I spoiled a little
thought
bit.
based on description that I had read about it, like I heard people making comparisons to Home Alone and saying there's like references to Home Alone,
There
which
is,
there are,
but it's
but
not subtextual. It's literally textual. They talk
the
about it in the movie.
they
It's a
also
reference.
the description that I read of this movie said that the kids were being held up by a bunch of home invaders or something like that. The kids and the babysitter, and they end up getting back at uh, the the home invaders and stopping them and playing a lot of tricks on them, like in Home Alone, but it's more of a horror movie thing. That's what it was described to me as, and that description was 150 billion% false.
It's exploitation in
It's
the highest order because it's sold to you like Home Alone but horror, and instead it's not that. I mean, it's still horror,
yeah,
and there's like, and it's not really Home Alone. People say that because they don't know how to read art. I'm guessing,
yeah,
and like yeah, it makes a pop culture reference. It's a postmodernist reference to Home Alone because they mention it in the movie, and it's a plot point
yeah,
in the movie. It's not like they just did the paint can thing and not mentioned Home Alone because then you can say it's referencing Home Alone. It's different. It's
yeah.
not the same kind of referencing.
They made a reference earlier too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, in the very beginning of the movie, they make an earlier reference to Home Alone, but like I don't care anymore because I did not like this movie.
Oh, it's a detestable film. Uh,
Yes,
if not understand male entitlement, this is the movie that perfectly describes male entitlement. Um,
I couldn't help every time I saw the main character. I couldn't help but like think this guy reminds me of that like who Elliot Rogers or whatever the fuck he reminds me of that guy, the quote unquote perfect gentleman who fucking killed a bunch of people, and that's like it almost felt like a glorification of that kind
here's
of
the thing.
character.
Ultimately, it's using male entitlement as a set dressing and misogyny as a set dressing and having nothing interesting to say about it. And also dropping ball in the ending because spoiler alert for about 30 seconds. What's the point of the movie if the incel doesn't die for his cruelty? He gets away with
Yeah,
that shit. And
no,
implies that he's going to get revenge. Like somehow he's the hero.
it's so fucked up.
The,
Oh,
the, the problem is. Alright, spoiler over. Spoiler over. Spoiler over. Spoiler over. Alright, the problem is. Uh, the ending suggests one thing and it doesn't say anything about what unfolded beforehand. And it's got the wrong perspective, it feels like. It feels like the movie is from the wrong character's perspective. And the movie can do what it wants, but like at this point watching it's a waste of time and almost painful. I was literally just like angry through the whole movie. You remember I was sitting there complaining the whole time, like, what the fuck?
yes. I was
Like,
genuinely uncomfortable throughout the whole movie. And it's like, okay, it's fine if the point of a movie is to make you uncomfortable, but like, it did not feel like that was
look,
necessarily the point. It just ended up being what happened because they didn't make a good movie. They made
oh,
something really annoying.
you can make a movie about the bad guy, and you can make him deplorable, but it's got to be for a point. And there's no point in this. This is glorification, like you said. It feels like
Yeah.
glorification. Like if you want to watch a movie where there's a deplorable character where you can't relate, the main character of Angst is a deplorable person, and we see the movie through his perspective. But it's saying something about the culture it was made in, German culture at the time, the 80s, mid 80s, I think. And so like there's it's not glorifying in any way. It's completely different. It's horrifying, and it's the reverse of glorifying. And Better Watch Out feels like it's glorifying.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like this person's review or this person because they're a piece of shit, so they're not gonna get credit. I'm just gonna steal their review.
Yep.
The real home invader was male entitlement all along. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say
Yeah.
about Better Watch Out. And we're gonna transition to a better film about home invasion, Home Alone, which we
Yeah.
also watched this last week,
It
this
was a
last
much
weekend.
better movie. there are issues, but not the same kind of issues.
It's very
You know?
telling. It's very telling that we lost our viewers when we talked about entitlement and okay,
Well, whatever.
whatever.
Uh,
Just
it's
very
true.
telling. Yeah.
That movie fucking sucked. Okay,
Sorry,
come
movies.
on, it's
Art
so
is
much better.
political. If you're expecting a discussion about non-political things in art, you're in the wrong place because every piece of art is political. If you choose to make art that is, and your statement is, I'm not making a political statement. That itself is a political statement. Every piece of art is political. Every single piece. There's not a single piece of art on this planet that isn't political. The act of making porn originally was a fucking rebellion. Literally a fucking rebellion. Okay? So, punk, Anyway, sorry. Art's political. It has everything to say about that. Anyway, Home Alone. Let's go.
Well, hold on. To
Oh,
that
sorry.
effect,
Go ahead.
I will say,
Didn't mean to scream. Sorry, everyone.
if you think about The Great Gatsby, like nobody ever thinks of it as a political statement, but what is this movie basically talking about? It's basically talking about what lecherous, terrible people the rich, entitled assholes of the Roaring Twenties were. It's absolutely a political statement
It's an
about how bad these rich people are.
It's an indictment of the entire upper
And I think
class,
that was
quote unquote.
published in 1925,
It's more.
right
It's
before the Great Depression.
and it's even more relatable now than ever before because we are in a
Yeah.
fucking dystopia. Anyway, Home Alone. Yes.
Yeah,
First time
Home
I've seen
Alone.
this in like 15 years.
The main issue here
I
isn't
think.
male entitlement. It's more just shitty parents.
Very
And
bad parents.
the more you watch this movie, the more times you watch this movie, the more you realize, oh, these are really, really bad parents. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck? Granted, they do everything they can to get back to him at a time that's
Right.
crazy impossible.
They don't like spend their whole vacation. He'll be okay. I mean, like my parents would have done.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, how do you do that? And I know they show you the things like, oh, they accidentally put his thing in here and or threw
Yeah,
his
the neighbor friend was coming over and talking, and the guy accidentally counted. Like it makes sense, so they forgot him. But like, once you got to the airport, once you do another
logically
count,
makes sense.
to make sure
Yeah,
once you get to the gate,
exactly.
as you're going through, you notice
Oh, but
Kevin's
they're
not there.
speeding through, but it's like, okay, speeding through is one thing.
Yeah.
You still have to like fucking check your bags and shit. Wouldn't you notice his bags aren't fucking there?
No, his bags were there. He wasn't.
Or yeah. Or,
But-
yeah, it's just hold on.
Yeah.
When you go to an airport, right? Everybody gets a certain amount of like luggage that they can put on the fucking plane, right? So
Yes.
per ticket, right? So if you've got 7 tickets and 8 bags, aren't the fucking people at the airport going to be like, did you want to get charged for more for carry-on or something for this?
Back
Aren't they
then-
going to indicate in some way that there's
no.
another bag here.
The extra baggage thing, and back then, the baggage rules weren't in effect. That was a post 9/11 thing. Okay, I remember people taking like 5 bags sometimes. Okay, so that's to be fair, that's not a loophole, not a plot hole, none of that. It's not a mistake. I think the problem remains this: if I'm a mother, I'm not the first one on the plane. I'm standing at the gate and looking at every face of my children to make sure they're all going on the plane ahead of me, and then I'm going on. I imagine as a father, you would probably do the same thing. Perhaps you're on the plane watching them come in or something. You know what I mean? And then the responsibility, they're in first class and their kids are in coach. I'm like, you're gonna leave your fucking kids unattended and like the flight attendant has to take care of your kids? The fuck is wrong with you?
Yes.
By the way, we're complaining about this movie, but we love this film. I deeply love this film.
Yes,
I've seen this
I love it.
forever. I've seen it a lot.
I'm not
You know?
complaining about the movie. I'm complaining
talking
about
about-
these characters.
Exactly.
And I will say, like, I wanted to talk about the father especially, like, has almost no interaction with any of the kids at all. The father character
That is the toxic male
Doesn't-
stereotype. Yep.
yeah, doesn't talk to the kids at all, doesn't interact with them at all. And the mother's only interaction is very negative almost all the time. It's just like, these are not good parents.
Nope.
Yeah, they are not the ideal parents. They are not
They're
even
bad parents. They're very, very
the
bad
the
parents.
the understandable parents. Like, oh, I can understand and relate to that. No, if you can relate to them as a parent, get your shit together. Holy fuck.
And this is the thing that comes up on Twitter all the time. I'm absolutely dead fucking tired of the trope of someone hating their partner and kids. That trope is toxic as fuck. And if you don't like your partner, you need to fucking leave. If you can do so safely. Uh, uh, like, just find someone you like to hang out with all the time, and that's the person you should be fucking dating. 100,000%. Always, always, always. As long as you're also physically attracted to them. Those two things, like people, like, look, I'm a demisexual, so I'm on the asexual spectrum. I think you fall on that spectrum too, Justin. I don't want to speak for you, but like, people undervalue platonic like relationships, and they don't understand the difference and importance of platonic and their sexual their romantic relationships or whatever, right? Their partner relationships, because sometimes some people just have nesting partners and it's not really they're both aromantic or whatever. That's fine. Hey, like whatever. There's all sorts. There's all sorts. So it's like, I mean, that'd be really nice, but it's beside the point. So like this weird cishet trope of like I hate my kids and I hate my wife, ha 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 ha. Just find someone you like instead. It'll be better for everybody in the long run. Better for you as a person to not hate the people you're supposed to love and to be so cruel to them. Cause that tough love shit, that helps nobody. That hurts all the time instead.
Yeah.
You're doing the wrong thing. There's no such thing as tough love. It's just abuse. I've said this over and over again. There's no such thing as tough love. It's just abuse, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's you just withholding love and affection to your child because you're trying to teach some lesson to them.
Now, the things I love about this movie.
Yes, let's go with the things we love about this movie. That being said, I know this is why we talk. This is why we love doing the show. Is because we get on diatribes. We're both neurodivergent. This is probably gonna be a long episode. Anyway, the things like
Kevin runs from the cop, which is what you should always do.
always, he's immediately suspicious of the cop, who is Marv in disguise, or is it Harvey? I can't remember which. Which one's which again?
Harry.
Harry's disguised as the cop, and it does the whole gold tooth, fake sparkle cartoon shit, which is funny. It's like people are like that shouldn't be a problem considering that fucking people get hit with paint cans and get tar and feathered in this movie, and their tops of their heads are burnt. Like, anyway, we kept commenting. We're neurodivergent, so of course we kept going like, oh, he's got third-degree burns on his head. Oh, he definitely broke his back. Oh, he's dead as fuck. Like his head would be crushed. Things like that. Sorry, you run from the cop. I keep interrupting you because neurodivergent.
That was the first thing for those who remember, just that he runs from the cop.
Hey, cab motherfucker.
But also, it is. What I like about it is that he is like from a wealthy family in the Chicago suburbs, right? And he is definitely a coddled kid, but he learns over time to take care of himself. And nobody in his family has any faith that he could do that, right? But he ends up doing it anyways. And doing a fucking perfectly fine and decent job of it. And on top of that, also, on top of just the basic surviving thing, he also ends up fucking taking out two dumbass criminals.
I mean, he has the worst day ever. His grocery bags break on the way home. Like, I think most people who are poor and have to walk their fucking ass home with groceries fully fucking understand bag breaking. It's usually a handle breaks. That's what usually happens.
What I noticed this time was just how far he had to walk. Because it's like...
He's in the suburbs. Yeah.
And
He's
so just to
correct.
find a fucking place where he could go shopping,
And he doesn't have the money
he
for a
has to
taxi.
cross a fucking freeway.
Yeah.
He has to go. There's that the ice skating rink and everything.
And
Like,
that's why the bags break, because it's actually how far he's walking.
yeah,
And now, those who do this in real life, do that stuff in real life, know that it's usually around the handles where it breaks the most frequently. But because it's a movie, it breaks out the bottom, which I'm sure was a some sort of automatic little button thing.
well, it's also the way he was walking, though, just like practically shaking them up and down.
Yes, because it was probably like some sort of thing. Yeah, he's probably had to activate it. But
Yeah.
but I mean, it's like it's not real. I was gonna say about this little splash thing. The whole movie's a cartoon. It's a living cartoon. It's beautiful. I love it. But in no way does it reflect any kind of reality. Oh man. Ugh. Actually, my boogers closed my nose up. I had to open it back up. There you go. That's your There's your too much information for the night.
I think everybody's favorite, or a lot of people's favorite aspect of the movie is the old guy who.
Yeah, the snow shovel man.
Rumors, yes, the rumors that this guy's a serial killer, right?
Meanwhile, it's just a guy like you or me, a person like you or me, who just lives alone or whatever. Like, whatever. He's just a little strange. Like, weird people rule, by the way.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, pretty much.
Story. I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect for a Christmas movie.
I think my favorite part is Harry, doesn't even look down when he puts his feet down into the fucking ornaments. He just stomps his feet down violently and then walks like as he's trying to leave the like, not like in real glass where he would kind of like tiptoe then and like try to like, yeah, you would crawl on your knees or something, like, oh my god. But no, he just smashes his feet in. Instead of scooting forward and like standing up with our no glass, he just stands up directly into the glass and wanders out of it. And it's like played like super up for comedy. It's a joy. It's one of my favorite parts.
We haven't watched Home Alone 2 yet.
We have
the new Home Alone movie.
There's a few Christmas movies we'll watch, and that'll be in the next episode, which will just be a regular episode, but we'll start with the Christmas stuff, so you can go right from the Christmas stuff. And then if you're watching this later, you can go right into now you can start the next episode and watch the first 20 minutes or whatever, where we cover the last 4 Christmas movies or whatever. Because I'll tell you what, 25th hits, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. We're watching the Matrix movies, and like, and that's it. And whatever you pick, but like, I guess if you
Matrix Christmas.
Maybe that's the name of the next episode. A Very Matrix Christmas.
Yeah.
That's not where my bong goes, brain. Sorry. Everything has to have a home on my desk, or I will lose things or knock things over. And I'm very, very careful about my bong, and so I literally put it where it wasn't supposed to go, and then just went, no, it goes over here, because it's borosilicate glass, it's expensive, and it was a gift for my birthday from my weed wizard, the guy who helped me, like, take my first steps into pain relief via cannabis. That's it.
Excellent.
That's the reason why I'm smoking right now.
So, other Christmas movies we watched.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on, I got it.
Black Christmas.
1974 Black Christmas, and the 2006 Black Christmas, and we're supposed to compare the two to some degree.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, we didn't watch that one.
Oh shit! No, I watched that with someone else. Black Christmas, 74. Sorry, I watched that with my cousin that same day. That's why it's confused.
I remember it well enough. I think we actually watched it like this year earlier at some point. But yeah,
we watched it. We watched it in, I want to say September or November. No, probably September, because we watched Black Christmas, and then we watched the 2019 Black Christmas because that's what we did earlier this year. I think it's September.
I remember it well enough, fondly enough.
You know, I think I can probably go actually find the exact episode by going like this. Anyways, talk your thoughts about 2006 one.
Yeah, the the original is great. Bob Clark. The 2006 one was also very good. I was pretty impressed with it. Honestly, like I liked the most recent uh, remake of it, but I think I liked the 2006 one a little bit more in certain ways.
Wow, what? More than the
Not
original?
a whole lot more, but no, not more than the original, more than
Oh,
the remake, the second remake, the one that just came out a
I
couple of
think
years ago.
I think
Yeah.
I almost like the 2019 one more than the original.
Oh
Almost.
wow.
Almost. Not
There's
quite,
just
but almost.
there's just something about this one that worked for me a little bit better. But maybe it was just the fact that I think we watched it on the same night as we watched like Better Watch Out, and that one put such a bad taste in my mouth that this one
Oh
felt
man,
so
that
much
movie was
better.
so upsetting. You
This
know?
movie felt so much better
We
than
did
that.
not cover Black Christmas 2019 at all. That was
Wow.
before we started the podcast. Like just
Oh, there you go.
before. Just before.
Well, Black Christmas 2019 was quite good, quite excellent.
Oh, it was so good.
I can't remember if I gave it a 7 or an 8 out of
It
10,
was
but
an
I did
8 out
give
of
it
10 for
something like
me,
that.
and the original was also an 8 out of 10. But if like you make me in the remake, the 2006 one, I gave a 7 out of 10. I really liked it. It's almost like a sequel. It kind of implies
Yes,
it's a sequel
it feels like a sequel,
in ways,
definitely.
but it's also a
It's
remake,
definitely implied.
and it
I think that's
gives
what I liked about it was that it's like a it has that those aspects of a sequel to it,
it talks a lot more
and
about Billy's past too.
it's really in that in those ways it's a little bit cheesy, to be honest,
Hmm.
but in a fun way that I enjoyed. I can't
I
explain
really liked
why.
it.
I just
I was saying when we watched
enjoyed
it,
it.
it would be a perfect Scream Factory release.
Yes,
It
yes.
deserves a reappraisal. It's been 15 years. People like me and you will say it's good. It's really
Yeah.
good. I mean, like as a like slash movies can be really dull, right? So
Hmm.
like this is really good.
Yeah, the universe building in it is actually really good. They do a
Is
pretty good
it
job of
is it
what?
a good remake of the original movie in which the killer is supposed to be mysterious? I don't know, but it's a decent sequel if you really if you I mean like it's also a remake, but like I don't know. Spiritually, I think that like talking too much about Billy was it goes against the original, but this is not the original either. So it's kind of like
It's just
it's the way it is, right?
it's
Dick to me.
the the wildness of the movie that makes me love it as much as I do because there's just so much uh, craziness going on in terms of like things that uh, it almost feels like aspects of hillbilly horror to it. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I think there's definitely a Texas Chainsaw Massacre influence. Is that what you mean?
yeah, it just there are things like that are socially faux pas and unacceptable or not accepted really in our
Mm-hmm.
society that they just go full tilt with in this movie, and I liked that aspect of it. You know, I thought like, oh shit, they went there. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ultimately, I really liked the movie though, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised I liked it honestly. So now, I couldn't tell you enough details the about the 2019 movie because it was months ago we watched it. Now,
Yeah, we probably need to revisit it before talking about it again.
where the fuck is my list? Oh, there it is. Jesus,
I remember it being a lot more modern. I mean, obviously it would be more modern because it
it's a
just came out,
completely
but like
different movie. I mean, other than the
it's
title and
yeah,
the setting, which is like it's still a sorority house.
it almost felt more. I felt like it had more in common with Happy Death Day in some ways. You know?
Yeah, actually, it does have Lauren common with that, like the vibe wise, you know.
Yeah,
But like, I thought it was really good. And some people didn't like it. My friend Rhiannon hates it. It's like, all right, that's fair. You know,
I
art's
like
not for
it.
everybody. I get it. I can respect it. I don't have to argue anybody's point. I have my opinion of it, you know, which is an
Yeah.
8 out of 10. But yeah, it's
I
cool.
gave it a 7.5 out of 10, something
And
like
some
that.
people are
Yeah,
like
it's good.
there are movies like Scream that people hold in high regard that I just always thought were okay.
Yeah.
But like the fandom on those prove that there's definitely something else behind it that maybe I'm just not getting, or just not for me. I don't know. I liked them enough that I would watch them again since the new one's coming out. But after that, I probably won't watch them again for a really long time. Cause it's like, you know, like I had the Blu-ray, but of Blu-rays of 1 through 4. But like I was actually on the verge of perhaps potentially selling the collection because that set because I'm just was I really gonna watch it again? Apparently, I might watch it for a podcast. So I might keep it for a while, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, Black Xmas 2019, really good. Next would be
Oh, I think we should segue from that because
okay.
Bob Clark
Take it.
directed Black Christmas.
Oh yes, we
We should go to the other
a Christmas Story,
that he's known for.
which I know is hugely popular. It is a part of pop culture. It was a cult film, but it is now a piece of pop culture because it's just because that's what happens. See, people don't really understand like cult classics are made like this: a movie bombs in the theater, a TV channel needs to fill hours of airtime, so we'll buy packages of movies, which include movies that bombed and movies that were good. Usually, have some really good high-end movies, and then a bunch of other movies you may or may not want. But they've aired them anyways because there's time fillers, and they paid for them. And Christmas Story would come on once or twice a year at Christmas time. For a long time, that's how it was. Like it'd be on. There'd be a Friday airing, a Saturday airing, a Sunday airing. That's it. And then
Yeah,
one year,
once
out
a
of the
day.
blue, some guy got lazy and copy and pasted the fucking all and for 24 hours. You got Christmas Story, and now it's quoted everywhere. It's referenced everywhere. It is part of like pop culture writ large instead of being a cult
And
classic.
I don't know that it was accidental per se, or that it was laziness. I think that
I was
was
making a joke. I was being facetious.
yes, because it's like that's been my major issue with cable TV, and one of the reasons I stopped watching it is that they put everything into giant blocks now. Like
Yep.
they do that with everything now.
Every show's got 4 or 5 episodes
Every
clumped together because
holiday
that's Netflix.
season, you see the same exact movies on. They typically like change to different channels that they're on, but like you see the same movies being played on the same channels over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
Typically in gigantic blocks of just like playing the same one movie over and over and over again, and that I feel like started maybe didn't start with A Christmas Story, but that was definitely one of the first times you saw it, and then it became a big thing with like fucking TV shows as well, where you'd get blocks of like you know 24 hours of this or 24 hours of that. It's got to the point now where like they did a couple years ago like The Simpsons in like a whole fucking week long block of just The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and it's just
Because
it,
here's what happened. All right. So they found out through streaming services, Netflix mainly, that people like to watch movies in blocks of like 4 to 5 episodes, you know, roughly. And what happened was they noticed that when they put down 4 episodes in a row, even if only the first episode was a new one, more people would stay because it's their favorite show through the extra reruns, and they can sell get more ad revenue out of a show they had already paid for and already paid for itself through ad revenue. So that was free money.
I don't know if it was all Netflix though, because this was happening before Netflix even existed. You know?
Netflix has been around for like 15, 19 years, dude. Like it's been a long
Yes,
time.
but I'm saying like
Christmas Story Let's go.
Netflix,
Okay, let's go look.
their online service didn't exist until like 2005, 2006. Their their streaming service, I mean,
I've been on it
specifically.
since the beginning, so yeah.
And then I believe Netflix themselves started in like 1998 or something like that. But I'm saying I started to see these blocks
Let's see
of
here.
programming probably like 2003, 2004. They started doing these heavy blocks. And when was the first time they had the A Christmas Story
Okay.
on?
All right. I will stand corrected. 1997 is when I started doing the 24 Hours of Christmas Story.
Yeah, see, they were
But
doing that before then.
the reason why TV shows
Now
come
they're
out
doing
in
that.
blocks is because Netflix is what I was talking about. But
For
yes,
damn sure, I can see that.
apologies for getting those muddled.
It's understandable. It's a very similar strategy. It's just like I can understand doing it for special occasions, and I was totally fine with the whole let's do this for special occasions.
Hmm.
But now every day is a special occasion for every cable network in America, and they all have
Yep.
4 hour blocks
Or
of
more.
one show,
Yeah.
and then another 4 hour block of another show. And I'm gonna sound like an old fart here, but I remember fondly the days when you'd have a 30-minute episode of this and a 30-minute episode of that and a 30-minute episode of this and a 30-minute episode
Yeah.
of that.
And to that point,
Varying
do
different
you know
shows.
how many episodes of Ancient Aliens those people have rewatched? I have seen watch them see the same damn episode every day for a week. Okay? Because it's just on. And it's background noise that they play on their phones. And that's the real problem.
Yeah.
That not the problem. That's the real thing. That's the real reason. Like people watch these shows, comfort. It's background noise. You know, people who
Yeah.
don't do that,
There's the new
they
boob
watch
tube.
Twitch or Facebook or YouTube streams. Their favorite.
Yeah.
They watch their favorite streamer on whatever platform they're on. That's what anybody else who's younger than boomers do.
I mean,
On
when I'm
average, I would
watching
say.
when I'm watching a show,
Always exceptions.
especially a serialized show,
Ah.
I want to watch it in at least giant chunks. I want
Yeah.
to,
Well.
binge watch it. But um, other than that, I really prefer to have more variety. I prefer
Yeah.
to go from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing.
I
It's just like
I like to watch movies in 4 movie episode chunks or TV episode. Sorry, TV series in 4 episode chunks on like Netflix. For a show I've never seen before. But if it's like a bunch of like. If I'm watching a bunch of cartoons, I want variety. If it's a bunch of like sitcoms, I want variety. If it's a bunch of whatever,
especially if it's something that I've seen before. I
yes,
remember
1,000%
growing up,
yes.
my favorite thing about Christmas,
We got way on a
TV
tangent
stuff.
from A Christmas
Yes,
Story, by the way.
my favorite thing about TV at Christmas as a kid was that they would have a lot of different cartoons, Christmas specials, like not just the same Christmas special over and over again, or the same Christmas movie over and over again. You'd
Right.
get like the Alvin and Chipmunk Christmas special, followed by Yogi the Bear Christmas.
You never see any of those anymore.
Yes, you get all these different variations.
I wanted to watch
of
the Yogi
Christmas
Christmas,
specials.
but he refused. So.
And it would be one after the other, but they'd all be different, like one after the other.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, let's show you the same exact Christmas special or Christmas movie over and over and over again,
So
and it just drives me nuts.
one of my future plans, or I don't know, like just one of my future fantasies is to have a media server and have all the DVDs of all those like anthology shows, rip all of the episodes, don't name a single fucking one of them, dump them all into one folder, and put them all into a VLC playlist and hit random.
Hell yeah.
And just, oh look, we got an amazing adventures. What was that show? What was that called? That was that show. Amazing Stories, and
Sorry, yeah.
fucking monsters, and you got Tales from the Dark Side, and Friday 13th, and like
A classic Twilight Zone. Holy shit.
Poltergeist: The
Outer Limits.
Legacy,
Outer Limits.
Tales from the Crypt, every Twilight Zone ever, all the Outer Limits, all of those. I've been putting them all on one drive, so that every night I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes of just whatever, and eventually I'll see them all, but they'll be in random order because they're anthology movies. Black Mirror is another one. It's a really great one.
Yeah.
I gotta finish Black Mirror. I haven't touched it because I have bad memories. I should have to say I have painful memories. They're not bad. They're painful memories. Because I was watching it with an ex, and so gotta get some time. I'll get back to it, and I want to watch all of them again anyway, since I don't remember anything about them. Maybe we'll do I think what I'll declare right now. Someday in the future, you will see a Black Mirror special episode of Couch Trans where we're just gonna talk about every episode of Black Mirror.
Yes.
Because I want to.
So to talk about the actual A Christmas Story.
Yes, sorry. We got sidetracked. We were talking about the fact that there was a 24 hours of Christmas Story.
Tangent. It was a good
And then,
tangent.
yes. It's a very long tangent. It's a whole episode's been tangents, by the way. We're not even halfway done. And it's been an hour and a half.
Fuck yeah.
A Christmas Story is great. I love this movie so much. But
I think my favorite thing about A Christmas Story is that, like, they make it, they made it look like the film was almost damaged in a way. It looks very soapy, you know. The image looks very soapy.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know exactly how they achieved that effect, but it's definitely an effect that's intentional, designed to.
Are you talking about the DNR?
No, because this has always been a thing in this movie.
Oh, okay. It's probably the film stock that's giving it that look that you're speaking of. It's probably
Possibly.
just.
It's an intentional thing that they did. Because they wanted to make it look more nostalgic, because that's what the movie is all about, is nostalgia. So
Well, I mean, it's like McTiernan shows really.
The whole thing is a dream state. It's a memory of the past, and it's really. I love the way it's shot like that.
An example would be John McTiernan choosing a high grain film stock for Predator to give it a more feel, like a rougher feel, which is why it's a fucking travesty that they DNR'd the fuck out of Predator and they refuse to release the other edition.
Hey, they released that on 4K.
It's a fucking DNR. It's still not good.
It's better than the original.
It's still compromised heavily, and I refuse to buy it. I have my DVD. It's still the best release.
Okay.
I mean, all the Blu-rays, every Blu-ray, even the MPEG edition, the first release, the one that has the special edition cover but isn't a special edition, even that one it's like an MPEG 2 or some other kind of like lower end encoding. So there's like macro blocking in the darkness. It's a fucking dark movie.
Yeah.
It's very grainy, it's very dark, and that's the point. And the fact that they DNR'd the fuck out of that will forever anger me, because it's one of my favorite films, and I can never watch it in high def. I just can't. I can't watch wax people talk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure though that they fixed that for the 4K. Pretty sure.
Pretty sure there's something else going on. Someone else said it wasn't good. Still got some DNR, I think.
I don't know.
I think there was a problem with the 4K. I think I remember people talking about it. Anyway, it's a movie that's never been done. And Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is another movie that's just never been given justice.
Oh my god, Terminator 2 for damn sure.
I own like 5 copies of that fucking movie, and not one of them has an image that isn't compromised heavily.
They did fuck up the 4K on that one for damn sure. I know that.
1000% they fucked that one. It's the same DNR fucking transfer.
Yep.
Like, gross. I get to see wax people in higher definition. Lovely.
But in terms of A Christmas Story,
God damn it.
It's more like what they did for McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Not exactly,
I haven't seen that,
obviously.
so.
But like that movie, they literally subjected the film to light because they wanted to damage the film to make it look more.
They wanted to flash the film, basically, to some degree, but only a little bit.
That was intentionally done like that. And this, I think it's something else. I think it's the film stock, but there's also like
the way they light it. The way they light it is also going to cause something like that.
And that it achieves a very nice effect, a nostalgic effect to it, that I think is what makes this movie work as well as it does.
Mm-hmm.
It would work well enough on its own, I'm sure, but making it feel like you're watching a dream. It's
like a flashback. The whole movie's a flashback, technically. So they film it like a flashback to some degree.
Making it feel like that flashback, and that's what you're seeing, is They do a very effective job at that, I would say.
And
And I'm just continually shocked that it didn't do well when it first came out because, like,
it's good. It's great.
it's
It's
a really good movie.
incredible, actually. It's one of the better Christmas movies like of all time. 'Cause it just talks about
Yeah.
it's like a time capsule of a period of both the '80s and when it was made, and their attitudes towards things, and also the '40s, the early '40s, in which it's talking about. So it's
A
like,
boy and his gun.
yeah,
It's a boy and his
hmm
gun in America. I mean,
it's a
come
time
on.
capsule inside a
How
time
do you get
capsule.
more American than that?
You know, it's
What do
funny.
you want for Christmas, Bobby? A
Not only
gun.
it's not only is it American, it's also now in the National Film Registry.
Yeah.
They just added it in.
I think that was in 2012, actually.
Was it
But yeah,
2012? Okay, yeah, maybe.
it's been a while. But yeah, they actually, that's a good case of like a fucking movie that nobody liked at first or nobody went to see
Hmm.
at first.
It was a cult
That
film. Yep.
over time became a cult film because it was shown on TV all the time. And through being shown over and over and over again, it became so culturally significant and relevant that it's now in the National Film
I
Registry,
would say it's ubiquitous
considered
to
one of the
Christmas.
most important American films.
It,
Like,
it's it's ubiquitous
that
to
says it all.
it's ubiquitous to Christmas films for sure. It's like on most people's top 10, and it deserves to be. It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
While it gets a lot of things culturally wrong, because of course it's made in a time and place, which does not excuse things.
Explanation.
Just
Yes.
an explanation. Yes, it's made at a time when those things were acceptable, or were deemed acceptable when they definitely still were not. Should not have been.
It's reflecting the time for what it was. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm. Time capsule inside a time capsule.
you don't want to rewrite history just to make it more convenient to what modern sensibilities are. You do want to be honest about how dark certain aspects of history were, you know. So I don't have a problem with that because it's like, that's what it was, you know.
I mean, it talks about unflinching, man. It's just here it is. Here's the racism. Like, just take care. Like, they makes no comment about it. Just like, this is just how it was. Was that okay? No, but
Yeah.
that's just how those people were at the time. And of course, there's like parts of this movie that will live in my brain forever. Like, there's a moment when he goes ho ho ho, and then puts fucking foot on Ralphie's face, and then
Yes.
that ho that lives in my the ho 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 lives in my head forever and ever and ever.
Oh,
But there's like a bunch of
no.
those moments in this movie.
I like the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I honestly, in some ways, kind of relate to that character because sometimes I have that moment when I'm just like, I like this. You're obsessed with something, you can't stop talking about it. That's part of being
Autistic,
what's autistic or yeah,
yeah, or
or just in
ADHD,
general
you know,
different.
and neurodivergent. That's what I was
Yeah,
looking for.
neurodivergent.
I was trying
Yeah.
to find the word too. The person who's
So
neurodivergent.
yeah. So yeah, great movie. Love it. I'm glad it became such a significant, important film. And that's
Hmm.
my favorite kind of movie because I grew up watching those movies on cable television before they were fucking significant. And it's not the fact that I watched it before it was even popular to watch it. It's more like, just a fondness for the way I discovered a lot of movies when I was younger, and it makes me so happy to know that because of the way that I and people like me discovered movies when they were younger on television, that they became cult classics, and some of them now are in the National Film Registry because they have become so significant and important in American pop
Oh,
culture.
you know what the most important thing that went into the film registry this year?
What?
Fellowship of the Ring. 20 years old.
Nice.
Yep.
Deserves it.
I mean, Pink Flamingos went in. The Long Goodbye, which we're gonna end up watching at some point for the show because I have it
I guess it was okay.
I haven't
Wait,
seen it yet.
I don't know if that's. I'm. There's another
Long
movie that
Kiss
came out on.
Goodnight is another thing you're thinking of,
Yes.
I think.
Well, they're a bunch of the long
Yes.
something
The Long
movies.
Goodbye, the
There
Long...
were two that came out right around that time period in the '70s, and it's like, I don't know. Is this the one with the John Williams score that doesn't sound like John Williams, or are we talking about something else?
Oh, great. So they put Richard Pryor live in concert so we can put a time capsule on homophobia. Also, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, and Return of the
Oh,
Jedi all went on in this year finally. So, Strangers on a Train, Wally of all things, Wally. You know,
that's definitely yes.
I like
Wally is
Wally. Wally's a great
100%.
movie, but
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay.
I think also at some point Interstellar should go in.
Interesting choice.
It's a good movie.
Shall we
I think
talk?
it's one of the best movies of the past decade, honestly.
Oh,
Top
perfect
10.
transition to say. Speaking of one of the best movies of the last 20 years, Save the Slave from 2005. Your thoughts?
Actually,
Sarcasm.
yes. Sarcasm as it may be, so enjoyable of a movie.
Yeah, it
For
was
a
so
lot of the same
cheesy.
reasons as like Fat Man, for example,
Yeah.
because it's just so damn cheesy and ridiculous, and you don't take anything seriously. But regardless, like the story they set up for the world, the universe, and the world they live in this movie, it's just like somebody. This is really creative for how
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous and stupid it is. You know, somebody went to a lot of effort to create this universe that is fairly creative, a creative version of what Christmas looks like and what the legends are really about.
And then they cast Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus.
And and then it became legendary.
But yeah, just like Fat Man, it's Santa's is like not necessarily a good guy. In this case, he's like he lost a bet, and now for 1,000 years now he has been, instead of killing kids, he's been making gifts and spreading cheer. And the truce is over, and he wants to kill all the people. All
Yeah.
the people who are like descended, I guess, of the people who killed him, something like that, or put him as a curse or bet. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He's killing kids. It's pretty funny. I mean,
I think the idea
that's
is
such
that
a weird thing to say.
he's looking for the guy he made the bet with,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Oh yes.
gets all these clues to where he might be located. And as he's tracking the guy down, he ends up, you know, killing a lot of kids and a lot of other people along the
In
way.
the city of hell, which is frozen over.
I love that. Hell, which is
Um,
frozen.
My favorite part about this is a bunch of Jewish people made this movie. The director, the writer, a bunch of the stars. Bill
Yes.
Goldberg's Jewish. You know, like.
And
And they're playing
you
into
know
these
they were
Christian
having fun.
tropes because Santa Claus and Father Christmas, the same entity nowadays, they used to be two separate things, are from Christian. Some of it is from Christian myth, and some of it's stolen from
Yeah,
other
some of it is
religions.
appropriated by Christians.
Appropriated, thank you. Stolen works, same thing. Anyway, what were you gonna say? I totally jumped the gun on you.
Whoa, what was I going to say? I don't know.
Something about Santa's sleigh. Let's go. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, one of my favorite parts from like you mentioned a lot of Jews worked on this movie,
Jewish people,
and you
yeah.
knew they were having fun with it because at one point the Jewish butcher gets literally stabbed through the neck with a menorah.
Oh,
Like
great.
you knew they were just having a lot of fun on set.
Well, they look like they're having a lot of fun. And this is like totally tongue in cheek. It's supposed to be
Yes.
kind of funny, you know. Not intentionally made bad. It's just some pieces that came out like great. It's definitely meant tongue in cheek though to be fun.
Yeah.
It's like Jack Frost, you know. That movie is meant to be fun, silly nonsense. And this is the same thing. I would say Jack Frost and Santa Sleigh make a great pairing.
Yes.
The Killer
The
Frost,
90s, Yeah, I almost said
97.
the 97 one, but I
That's
don't.
right.
I think the other one
No.
came out that year too.
No, that other one came out in 98.
Okay, good. 97 then. 97 Jack Frost. You know, the killer snowman.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one, exactly.
He
Oh.
made me watch Jack Frost. We're going to talk about it. Made me do it. The man
Yeah,
has the
everyone
audacity to
likes
torture me on the weekend and give me a nice present on the Wednesday. Son of a bitch.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, Santa Sleigh. I was not expecting to like it. I didn't know what to think about it. I will say the uh, the artwork for it, like the cover art and whatnot, for the DVD and Blu-ray, is very, very cheap. Very.
Is there a
It's
Blu-ray?
off-putting. I think it's just DVD.
Okay,
But,
okay.
it's off-putting because it looks like it's like a really bad, like, not in a good way.
Hold
Movie.
on. Hold on.
And then
I think that's because it's photoshopped. I
yeah,
think it's a
well,
Photoshop. There's a piece of artwork of WCW Bill Goldberg, and I swear to fuck, Bill
probably.
Goldberg. I'm about to look. Keep
But I'm
talking.
telling you, like the that's what made me not want to watch it ever, even though I had seen the artwork before. When you said we were going to watch it, and I saw the artwork, I was like, wait a minute. I've seen this on the shelf before at some point and turned it down because it looked terrible,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And this just goes to show again: don't judge a book by its cover because it's very fun. It's an
It needs a
incredibly
Blu-ray
fun
now.
movie.
I'd say. I'd be so happy if Vinegar Syndrome put it out. It's a perfect movie for Vinegar Syndrome.
Yes, that'd be perfect. Yeah,
I'm literally trying to
one of
find this
those
photo.
staples. I prefer Vinegar Syndrome.
There's a promo photo of Goldberg punching like that. Big explosion behind him. Like WCW photo. And like, so I feel like it's literally that promo photo and then someone fucking painted over him. All the Santa stuff with an airbrush. That's what it feels like. Or photo manipulation. Whatever it is. I'm not that art
Definitely
savvy.
does not look good.
I
What's
can't
funny to
find
me is
it.
like the movie starts with the people who like the Fran Drescher is in the first scene of the
The
movie,
opening.
right?
Yeah.
And so was what's his face? I think I can't remember his name. Damn it! But there were a lot of like notable actors in the very first like scene of the movie,
Hmm.
which is like I think before the titles even come in for reference. And you could tell like these people were brought. It was a classic case of these people were brought in for one day.
Hmm.
This was their one day shoot. This
Yep.
is all they did for the movie, and the actual rest of the movie is something else entirely. This is just like setting up who Santa Claus is in this universe.
James
And
Caan. That's right, James Caan.
James Caan, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
And Tiny Lister.
yeah.
Who's in here too?
Well, Tiny Lister also, although he had a similar just like one day on set kind of thing going
Hmm.
on there. He was in a later scene, I think, not in the first scene.
He was in a later scene, correct.
Just clarifying that.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're good. Yeah.
Love Tiny Lister.
It's a slasher movie. There's not a lot going on. They're trying to find out how to stop Santa's sleigh, and
Yes.
and he's murdering people, and
It's
it's.
ridiculous in all the best ways.
I don't think like the kills are, other than the menorah through the face and like maybe one other kill. I don't think they're like super interesting kills or anything as far as slasher fans might be curious. Worth seeing because it's ridiculous, but it's not like it's gonna be like, oh, it's the movie where that lady gets a gaff hook in her vagina that's mutilator. But that's a big, when people talk about mutilator, that's the first thing they think of is there's that scene where that lady gets killed with a gaff hook through her vagina. It's in that movie. I'm sorry for the spoiler. It's not graphic. You don't see her vagina, but it's implied it's going into her vagina. Okay. Anyway, the reason people bring that movie up is because of that scene. That's nothing like that in this movie where you're like, oh, That's the movie with that scene in it. You know, that kill in it or whatever. But no, it's just a really ridiculous, fun time. Don't take it seriously for a single fucking second. I had a blast. Right? It's gonna be a new frequent watch. I think a frequent return.
Agreed.
Okay. Where am I at? I got lost in the list. Sorry. Jingle All the Way. Want to go Jingle All the Way here?
Jingle All the Way. That's a yearly watch for me.
Same.
I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an example, I think, for me at least, of something that, like, when I was growing up, everyone I knew at the time said it wasn't very good and didn't like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now, a lot of those same people call it, like, their favorite movie, and I'm just like, I remember when you said you fucking hated this movie.
Right.
What happened? And what happened, of course, is it got shown on TV a fucking whole hell of a
Every
lot.
year, multiple times sometimes, and guess what? Now it's a cult classic. Now it's a classic.
Yep.
It was a cult classic. Now it's a classic.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Same with Night of the Living Dead. Same with anything that was cheap to replay on TV. And that's why a lot of them are cult classics. Every movie John Carpenter ever made. Every last one of them.
Yep.
But this one's great. This is based off the Cabbage Patch toy riots, essentially, where people were like fighting over Cabbage Patch toys in 1982.
Yeah.
And it came out right before the Furby rush. So it was very topical by the time it came
I think
out.
it was actually the.
It was that
the
season. Yeah.
It was the same year that didn't. Isn't it the same year Tickle Me Elmo came out? Because I think
No,
Tickle Me Elmo
came out a couple years later. You're right. But
later. I thought it was earlier than Furby.
no, I'm earlier. Sorry, I meant earlier in the year. And it's like 92 or whatever.
Well, it was around that time, anyways. Yeah, it was earlier than.
Correct. So that was the other movie that informed the Jingle All the Way.
The toy, yeah.
And then right after the movie came out, Furby came out. That was so it's like it happened a third time. It doesn't happen as often now. I'm sure it happens every couple of years though. There's that hot toy that every kid wants.
I love that they actually released Turbo Man.
Oh yeah,
the toy.
They also made a booster figure that was incredibly rare. Might be one of.
They made it rare. Amazing.
No, I think it just came out because they released the first movie, like the first figure when the movie came out, and then the movie bombed. So they just stopped producing the figure.
What do you mean? No, they just for the first time, if I were as
No. There's a '90s. In the '90s.
I'm talking about the one they released this year. Then.
Oh, I don't care about the one released this year. I'm talking about the actual Turbo Man doll. They made the doll that's there after in the movie. They made that movie, that figure in real life, and
Sure?
yes,
Really?
you can go and look at it right now.
Wow.
And
I had no idea.
And the movie bombed, so they didn't boosters never either never released or produced in very small numbers, and I have a feeling they wanted Turbo Man the show to become a real life show,
God.
to some degree.
Oh no.
I would have loved that, honestly. Get Rolf Mueller, the guy who is also Conan the Barbarian in the Conan series, Conan the Adventurer. Ralph Mueller also he did a lot of body doubling for and cameo stuff in Schwarzenegger films, so he's the perfect person to play Schwarzenegger in the Turbo Man TV series. I would have been all over that shit.
What you're saying is that there is a universe in which this happened.
Yes, and I wish I could see it.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But what a great movie.
One of my favorite things about
Hey,
it,
Wolfgang. Right.
For the longest time, when I would watch this every year, people would talk about how they didn't like Sinbad in it, but Sinbad was like
He's an asshole, to be fair, but
he's like my favorite part of the movie. I think he's so fucking good in this movie.
I was listening to No Such Thing as Bad Movie, one of the few podcasts I actually listen to on any kind of regular basis, and we covered this movie. And you talk about how there's a fan theory in the movie that Sinbad's kid was dead. His
Yeah.
wife left him. He's getting this toy for himself. It reminds him of his kid or whatever.
Mm. Wasn't the story about the gun that he wanted when he was a kid, the Johnny OMA rifle or whatever, wasn't that actually based on a true story?
That's a real toy, yeah. The rifle he talks about, it's a real toy. Yep.
It's a real toy, but wasn't it based on a real story though about like that happening to somebody? I don't know.
I don't know.
Could have sworn.
I haven't mentioned that
But
at all.
yeah, it is a real gun. That's for sure. A real toy gun.
Yep.
Remember that gun? I had no idea what that was when I was a kid. Apparently, it was something that existed.
Yeah. But yeah, Jingle All the Way is really fun. A few instances of the F slur. There's a
Yeah,
part where
strange
a
places.
character falls over, their head falls off, and some kid yells "boosters!" He goes "boosters" an F word, F slur.
We don't like you, F word.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
Yeah, that's right. But it's
Yeah.
like it's there. You should know about it. It's I wouldn't say it's pervasive. It's like two instances. I think earlier on, one of the other people says the F slur also. It's only said twice in the movie. And there's like really nothing else in it that causes any kind of concern or red flags, honestly. Other than that, these people are selfish, annoying people that shouldn't be praised. No character in this movie is good except for the kid. They're the only innocent party involved.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Jingle All the Way, classic for a reason. I know we keep talking about a lot of classics. Do you have anything else to say about Jingle All the Way?
Nope.
Well, the
I'm
classic. There you go.
Yep.
National Lampoon. Oh wait, sorry. It happened on Fifth Avenue. You have anything to say about that?
I like it. It has become a movie that I think I'm going to watch every year now. I
Okay.
watched it last year on a whim because I didn't know anything about it, but I saw that it was a Christmas movie, and I was like, "Hey, Christmas movie I've never seen before from the '40s. I'm gonna give this a shot," and I fucking loved it. So
And that means that we're gonna skip it this year because I don't remember enough about it. So I think we'll watch it again next year and see if anything sticks.
okay,
Next up is Puka. It was a surreal film, hardly anything to do with Christmas. Also, there's intense flashing lights in several scenes.
highly unenjoyable movie.
4 out of 10 for me.
I didn't really like the characters. Nobody. Well, I don't think anybody really is likable in this, and it's so like I feel like the plot of the movie, it's like it's leading in a few different directions. That like, well, maybe they'll take it in this direction, maybe
Yep.
they'll take it in that direction, and then they just say, "We're not going to take it in any direction." And
Yep.
it's like, okay, so then it's a rudderless film. I don't. No, not a fan.
Yeah,
Not
no
a fan.
thanks. It's okay, but I gave it a 4 out of 10, and I think that was deserved.
I like the idea and where it was supposed to go, or where it could have gone, but it didn't end up going anywhere. So,
And let's see here. That's the wrong window. There you go. Sorry, trying to add the movie to the list. Puka. About Puka. It felt like an hour long or maybe 45-minute long movie stretched out. It felt too long for what was there. The
yeah, it could've
pacing,
been
I would
like
say, I shouldn't say it like that. I felt the pacing wasn't up to my liking. I didn't really like the pacing. Felt
it could have been
different.
a part of a anthology series.
It was part of an anthology series, but they're all movie length.
Yes.
It's that
This
anthology.
was one that didn't need to be movie length. There.
Yeah, I agree, but we all are. Apparently, none of them are really that great. But Nacho Vigalondo, I want to talk about him real quick. I've seen Time Crimes. Pretty damn good movie. He did a segment ABC's of Death and VHS Viral. Don't ask me to remember which of those are. We watched Open Windows before. We all thought that was really good. And he's also done Colossal. So this guy's career is all over the place. Me and him are gonna have to watch Time Crimes at some point because he hasn't seen it yet. So I watched with a former friend of ours, Byron. So yeah, we're gonna see Colossal at some point too. It's on my list. Next movie.
Next movie.
National Lampoon's Vacation, Christmas Vacation. I don't know what we could say about this movie, so maybe we just talk about our favorite parts and call it a day.
This is famously one of the favorite movies of our good friend Garbage Gamer.
Oh
Eric.
yes, big time.
We didn't get to watch it with him this year, but you know, I was thinking about him the whole time we were watching it, and there are so many aspects of the movie that I enjoy. It's highly quotable. I do end up quoting it several
Shitter's full.
times throughout the year.
Shitter's full is the best line.
I think it's one of my favorite. Might in fact actually just be my favorite National Lampoon's Vacation movie.
I think it's the best of the series, of the 3 or 4 good ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
not including the fucking Vegas vacation movies. They go off the rails at that point.
I like the Vegas one.
Fair, but I wouldn't say they're the best movies. Your mileage may vary, I would say, on that one.
Yes. YMMV.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this is a movie I'm sure everybody has seen at least once in their lives. So
I
yes,
hope.
if you haven't seen it, see it. If you have seen it, then you know it's fucking awesome. It's golden. It's
I will say
it's S tier. Put it at the S tier.
it's an S tier.
Right now.
I will also give a warning that the cat dies in this movie. And some people are
Oh, yeah,
sensitive to
that's
those things.
great.
So I will say the cat does die, and it's a gag. It's a joke in the movie. So if that is not going to be your taste, then do understand that is there. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else offensive, right? No. Oh wait, someone does use the F slur somewhere. I think once
I don't
talking about the
remember.
next door neighbors, maybe. I can't remember. I
don't-
thought there was one word that was like, eh. I mean,
There might be. I'm sure. Actually, if anybody was going to be responsible for that, I think it was one of the older, like one of their parents,
yeah.
one of those characters.
Yeah. That's why I say I'm not sure. I think there was, but
Maybe it was like a fruitcake comment or something like that.
oh yes, I think that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Um. The part where the toupee comes off. There's a part where he plugs the lights in and he like turns everything. The power goes out for the whole like block or whatever. There's literally just so many good parts of this. My favorite part of all is when they use that a spray lubricant on the sled and they slide down the snow slope and they go all the way to a fucking Walmart parking lot after crossing a highway.
Yeah.
Great shit.
Brilliant. Amazing.
You have any favorite parts you want to talk about?
Well, the one that we always talk about, or every year, almost every year, our friends and us, is the Uncle Eddie scene when Clark is like, "Do you want me to do anything for you? Can I tie you up, drag you out into the middle of the desert, leave you for dead?" Something. And he's getting like some eggnog and stuff like that. And while he's doing that, he just like walks over to the windmill thing, which is powered by the fucking. It's powered by a little candle. The heat of the candle moves it. And he's like, "Huh, that's interesting." So just touches it, whole thing falls apart.
That's the best. That's so good. It's true. It's how it works. You go to someone's house, you're like, it looks really cool. Oh, fuck, I broke it. Like, it happens to everybody. We've all done it. But yeah, that's the best part. It's one of the great part. Love that part.
And of course, the scene in the store where he's going shopping with Uncle Eddie, and he there's this part where he grabs like a box of light bulbs and he puts it on top of the dog.
Yeah.
And then he gets like 3 more bags of dog food.
Crunch. 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 So good.
And of course, the squirrel.
Uh.
Squirrel!
Yeah, so many great parts of that movie. It's a classic for a reason. Like you said, S tier. All right. Any thoughts about White Christmas?
That's another one I didn't watch until like I want to say the last 5 or 10 years. But ever since I did watch it, it's one that I've watched at least once every year or two.
We watched it last year together, actually.
And yes, well, I watched it before that.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying.
But yeah, it's growing on me. It grows on me every year. There are aspects of it that I like. There, the reason that I'm totally okay with the military exceptionalism in the movie is that the military that is they're defining as exceptional is the military that defeated the Nazis. So I'm like, yes, these are good soldiers. I like these soldiers.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, the Bing Crosby songs in this are probably the versions I probably remember the most from like mixes of Christmas music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
You could actually, and I won't speak to the legality of this, but if you go on archive.org right now, I actually found the soundtrack that to White Christmas on vinyl, like the original vinyl.
there are actually 2 White Christmases soundtracks, 2 different ones, because Rosemary Clooney was on the same record contract as everyone else. And so there's a White Christmas with all songs. She's singing the songs in the movie, right? And then there's the regular soundtrack, which her voice is dubbed over by someone else.
Ah.
So it's like, yeah, I was reading the wiki while we were watching the movie. Because this is the second time for us watching it. There's a good chance we're going to watch it again next year. I'll be really honest with you.
Yeah, there's just something about it that really works so well. And it's got of course, it's a Technicolor film, so it has
It's beautiful.
Technicolor feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And really good transfer, too.
Great dance numbers.
Yes. It's a wonderful Christmas movie.
Oh, there's a same director as
starring Bing Crosby tap dancing with Danny fucking Kaye. So.
The reason why we chose it actually we literally watched National Lampoon's Christmas. He said that line like, you know what, I kind of want to watch that movie now. Directed by the same guy who did Casablanca, actually.
Makes sense. I love the part where they, towards the end, where it finally starts snowing, and so they open up the entire set that they have in the barn. They open up the barn.
Oh my god, and
the snow that they use, the snow in the movie is all asbestos. It's 100% asbestos.
Right? Like, oh
Very
boy.
Cancer miss, I guess.
It's like even worse that like it's not worse. It's actually a very brutal kind of cancer called lymphoma or whatever. No, there's a commercial for it. I'm probably not gonna say it right. So it's this form of lymphoma. Apparently, it's just really bad.
Before anyone thinks that we're judging the filmmakers.
No, it's just the way it was.
At that time, they had no idea that it was dangerous. They didn't know. So, yeah.
People in the 50s were stupid. I'm being silly.
Yeah.
Not really, but.
Not by choice. They just didn't know as much as we do today.
Okay, they were ignorant. You're right.
In comparison to us, because we have
more knowledge
based on like scientific advancement and shit. Though that's
true.
What I'm trying to get across. It's like
I know. I'm being
like
facetious.
They could have done.
Okay. Next is Very Merry Christmas. You may be depressed, and that's what we're talking about.
Very Merry Christmas.
Murray. Bill Murray. To be
cute. I said Bill Murray.
No, I'm being clear to the audience.
Okay. Gotcha. I don't know why people don't like this. it's wonderful. Uh, it's proof to me that Miley Cyrus knows how to sing very, very well.
She's so
Uh,
good. She's
Gets
always had
unfairly
the
shat
ability.
upon,
Yeah, she definitely gets
and of
fairly
course,
fairly shat upon. I love her to death. She's
when
great.
we get to hear Bill Murray sing some really great classic Christmas songs,
Santa
some
Claus
you may
wants
not
some
be
loving.
familiar with, some new ones, and there's that one too with
George
George
Clooney,
Clooney,
who's
which I
just
think
peeking
is
around Christmas trees. That
our
was a meme
favorite.
when it came out.
Yes, I wish it was still a meme. Santa Claus wants some loving. Tom Waits is in this special. They've also got Chris Rock and him singing terribly, intentionally.
Yeah.
But
Well, Bill
Tom
Murray
Waits is
can't
in this
really
as a
sing that
bartender.
great. He got like this
Yes.
kind of rough around the edges style.
Yeah. I
But
think the
he's
point
like,
isn't necessarily his singing ability. It's
I
just
feel like it's a parody of
him
William
having
Shatner
fun.
to an extent. The way he's singing,
I don't know.
not in the voice
I
way, but
think
the way
he's just
that, not in the way he speaks. It's uniquely William Shatner, but in the way like he doesn't care if he's completely off key for an entire song. He's just singing it because it's
oh
like
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just one of those things. Like it feels like it's almost a parody of William Shatner and his musical career to some degree.
And
Just the singing parts. I mean,
but correct me if I'm wrong. This I think it's Maya Rudolph, right? Who's in this movie?
Maya Randolph.
Maya Randolph. I keep Rudolph is the fucking. I'm
It is,
Rudolph. Right?
It is Maya Rudolph. You're right.
Oh, it is Maya Rudolph. Okay. Well,
That's
then
why I double checked. You know,
that's just perfect.
she's incredible. By the way.
It's perfect for her to have been in this. And yes, the more I see, okay, so I saw not to get things too political, but I saw Charlemagne the God talking to Kamala Harris,
Yeah.
and when I was looking at Kamala Harris, could have sworn it was Maya Rudolph. I'm like, what the fuck? She really was the perfect choice to play Kamala Harris on SNL.
Yes.
What she did. So one of the most recent things she did.
Michael Cera
Yeah,
plays
so
an asshole manager in this.
yeah, there's a lot of big names in this special,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them sing and some of them don't sing, and you know, you just roll the dice and see what you get, and it's pretty fun. If you're looking for a more adult kind of a Christmas movie, or Christmas special, I'd say
Very for adults, and it's about only an hour.
that's just
Directed by Sofia Coppola too, by the way.
when all the kids go to bed and you're looking for something to watch that isn't necessarily. I mean, there's Bad Santa, of course, but
Which way I
if
haven't
you're looking
watched
for
yet
just
this
something
year.
that's adult and perhaps more refined than Bad Santa,
Yeah.
this I think is a good one, and it's also got some silly, goofy parts like Santa Claus wants some loving.
We're gonna revisit the Bad Santa, Badder Santa liver cut at some point because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of stuff that makes us cringe this time around.
Mm.
It's
I
been a few
watched it
years.
recently. I can't think of anything super offensive, but
Hmm.
I think there was
I
one or two things. One or two things.
mean, a bit
But
of
I
fat
did end
phobia
up
in there,
the
but
version well, obviously, but the version I ended up watching was like the fucking R cut, so
mm-hmm.
not even the good cut. My
Guess what's
favorite part about the movie though, about Bad Santa, is that the fat kid, Thurman Merman,
mm-hmm.
ends up getting revenge. Ends
Mm-hmm.
up kicking the fucking bully in the balls and flipping him off as he rides off on his bike. That perfect.
Next up was Jack Frost, but not the Killer Snowman movie. The Michael Keaton Pain Fest. I felt like I was participating in the Pain Olympics. What the fuck?
It is so not good.
CGI is so not even dated, like bad for the time.
Yeah.
Like wow.
And there's this scene where Michael Keaton is talking to himself, and you could swear he's just asking, "How did I get here? How did I get into this movie? What happened?" And I was just like joking around. And he's like, "How did I get from Batman to this? What happened?
Just
Where did
10
my
years.
career go?"
Just 5 or 6 years, yeah. Multiplicity. That's what did it.
Oh my god,
I
that
haven't
is
seen that.
true. That is
I haven't
true.
seen it, but I remember hating it when I was a teen.
I didn't like it either.
But I haven't seen
I
that.
think I watched
I
all
haven't
of
seen
half
Mr.
of it.
I haven't seen Mr. Mom in good 10 years. I haven't seen The Sixth Day. All these things I kind of want to see. These weird movies that came out in the late 90s were, not so good.
Yeah.
But Jack Frost, 1998, not 1997. Yeah. Michael Keaton dies in a car accident. Was resurrected as a snowman. And for some reason, that is never explained. The bully at the end just has a random change of heart for no reason.
Yep.
Just, it's a change of heart. Why not?
It doesn't make any sense for him to have that change of heart, but he does. You know,
Yep.
it just happens. And the bully in the movie, by the way, who's played by a teen, he always has like a like a fucking Slim Jim in his mouth.
Oh, yeah, like
early
it's a
on.
cigar. Like it's a cigar,
And
yeah.
he has it in his mouth like it's a cigar, and they're having fucking snowball fights. It's this bizarre fucking west version of like a western and a snowball fight at the same time. Now, what I will say is that the snowball sequence where he's fighting with his doing the snowball fight with the help of his snowman dad, that scene, I think, was completely ripped off in Elf. Elf ripped that
Interesting.
off from Jack Frost.
I haven't seen
because
Elf in a
it's
while
very
either.
much the same fucking sequence. Because Buddy the Elf in Elf ends up being really fucking good at snowball fights and just like, and it's like, oh, where have I seen that before? Directly straight out of 100% from Jack Frost. Like, they don't even change much of anything about what happens in that sequence.
I was gonna say I guess we have like Bad Santa and Elf to talk about next year. Now we're still building up a next year's Christmas episode already.
Yeah.
What I'm watching like probably this weekend with Justin here is Snow Day, because that snow fort sequence reminded me. Oh yeah, Snow Day's a movie. I want to see that again for some reason.
Because it's not necessarily a Christmas movie, so we can watch it after.
It's
Christmas.
actually takes place in October, early October, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. I looked up the wiki on there.
I'll put it this way: I remember not liking it so much as a kid, and then I watched it again more recently. I think it passed like 5-10 years or something like that. And it's not bad. It's just not as good as everybody says it is.
I have it as 1 out of 10 star from childhood memory.
Yep, didn't like it when I was a kid.
But seeing how most of my friends give it 3 or 4, 3 or 3.5 stars, I should say 6 or 7 stars out of 10. Most of my friends give it that. I'll probably end up liking it more this time.
Yeah.
I doubt it's a 1-star movie.
People are allowed to have nostalgia for things that aren't good. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Even them, I bet you probably not that bad.
Frost.
I mean,
it's Jack Frost was not.
I gave Jack Frost 4 out of 10.
I think I give it like a 5 out of 10. It's not very good.
I'll never see it again.
Very mediocre.
I'll never ever see it again. But every time I think, oh, maybe I'll see this movie, I'll remind myself instead to watch the Killer Snowman movie.
Yes.
But yeah, Jack Frost is one of those movies. I can't recommend it in any circumstances.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is just reprehensible. Everyone is just one-dimensional. And it's like, there's nothing here. It's literally wasting your time for 97 minutes. That's my review of Jack Frost 98.
Yep. Not worth your time.
Last,
Don't waste your time on it.
but not least, guess what movie it is.
I don't know.
For one of your favorites.
I don't remember.
Reckless!
Oh yeah, Reckless. This is a movie that I discovered, watched one year when I was in college because I was taking a postmodern class on postmodernism
Mm-hmm.
in general. It was an English class on postmodernism, so we were talking about the
Everything.
ways that it had affected
Ah,
uh, you know various writings as well as art. And in terms of the art, we watched things like Reckless and also Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So
it's amazing.
there's something. Yes, I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in a college class. It was a level 300 class too, I might add. Not insignificant.
For someone who's never been to college with a 300 level class.
But
No, no, asking you a question. For someone who hasn't been in college, what is
oh,
a
okay.
300 level
I
class?
sorry, I didn't hear it. So you got your level 100 class. Everybody says like this is 101 stuff. That's literally the first
Mm-hmm.
level of a course that you'll learn. Level 200 is like um, I think I want to say it's typically the highest you get in like community college is level 200 class, but I think
Okay.
there are some higher level stuff in community college.
I don't remember. Been
Level
like a
300
decade.
is like level 300 is like your uh, if level 100 is like the basic, level 300 is the bachelor's level basic, and then 400 and 500 are like the you know you're going in to get your doctorate and shit like that. You know what I mean? So at the 300 level, you're learning stuff that you need to get a bachelor's degree, basically. So
There you go.
yeah,
It's a complex. It's a complex. It's a thing I couldn't like explain nearly succinctly. So, thank you for that. But not everyone's been to college, so
yeah.
um,
But regardless, like this movie has only ever been released. Reckless has only been ever been released on VHS,
yep.
and that's the way I saw it in this class was on VHS, and it really stuck with me over the years because I was just like, there's just something about this movie. It's so strange and yet also kind of wonderful in certain ways. And it's a Christmas movie, and it stars Mia Farrow. And as the
And
years go by and I learn more about her scenario, it just makes it even more. I like it even more.
and if you're watching this on my YouTube, it's on this channel. You just type in Reckless. You get this video and the movie. Um, it will remain on the channel until either I'm told to take it down or they put a Blu-ray out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy a Blu-ray the minute it comes out.
I really wish somebody would do it because
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely deserving of a better release than just the VHS. But
So this lady's husband takes out a hit on her, and then gets her changed to heart at the last minute and tells her to leave. So she goes on like, so basically Alice goes down the rabbit hole when she leaves. She literally goes out a hole into her adventure. I'd almost say the person she stays with is like a Mad Hatter, like the Mad Hatter. Like
yeah,
he's a
almost.
little wild. He wears like metaphorically, he wears a lot of different hats. You know, like
Hmm.
anyway, you're gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say about the sets throughout this movie
Mm.
because I don't think there's much of anything actually shot on location anywhere in
It's
this
all in the
movie.
studio.
It's all in the studio, and the sets, while they are, good for one reason, like they're not like traditionally good sets. They are easy to spot as being sets.
Very
They're
stagey.
very stagey. Yes, exactly.
It turns out this was a
And
stage play
it feels that way in a lot of
originally.
ways, and it makes it feel kind of surreal in a way. And that really works to the benefit of the story because the story is very surreal.
The
So
whole thing's so surreal.
yeah.
And the premise of the film, and my favorite line is, "The past is something you wake up from."
Yes, and the Mad Hatter character says, "No, it's the past is something you wake up to," and I can understand that. It really is in certain ways that scene a half glass full, half glass empty kind of a
Mm-hmm.
view on things, and I think the point the movie tries to make is that that character who said no, it's something you wake up to, is somebody who uh, was a very flawed person who
Fixated on the
never
past.
who never was really actually making any attempt to fix himself. You
Yep.
know.
And he's fixated on the past. That's a big thing.
Yes.
Hence why he wakes
Yep.
up to the past instead of wakes up from the past.
Yep.
But the movie's
And
very
that's why
surreal. I
he
mean,
spends.
very, very surreal. I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah.
It's weird and in a good way. I want a Blu-ray so bad. Another Vinegar
You know,
Syndrome movie.
you got a bunch of actors in here, notable actors. You got Mia Farrow for one,
Hmm.
which was this was shortly after her whole thing with Woody Allen. After Woody Allen essentially ruined her career by saying like telling people to never hire her again in Hollywood or in
Yep.
the studio
He would never
system.
move.
So
He was like threatening things like he wouldn't make movies for
um,
them if they didn't blacklist her essentially. Yeah.
so
Mary Louise Parker's in this
this was
too.
made
That's a big
outside
one.
of the studio system. Yeah. So this movie was made outside of the system. Barely Parker's in this.
Pennsylvania,
Giancarlo
I think.
Esposito plays a minor role.
I think
Um,
it was Pennsylvania is where it was filmed, or whatever. If I remember correctly.
oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito was also in this movie. A very minor role. You might remember him as Gustavo from
Oh
Breaking
yeah.
Bad.
It's
He's
almost
a very
unrecognizable, actually.
significant actor now. He is. He does look very different in this
Yeah.
movie. Stephen Dorff is in this movie as well.
William
Stephen Dorff.
William Fichtner's in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of like character actors and actors you would not expect to be in a movie you had never heard of, right?
Hmm.
But here it is, this movie that only ever got released on VHS that most people have never seen or heard of before, and it's Mia
Wait a minute.
Farrow is in this, Stephen Dorff is in this, so many really well-known character actors and just great actors in general are in this film.
Bro, Lone Ranger
What?
isn't on Disney Plus. What is that nonsense? I think that'd be a
Oh,
really good
good
one to
God.
review.
Oh, God. I remember liking it and everything. It's just that like my sensibilities when I liked it were different than
Yeah, and it'd be fun to talk about some of those things because there it is a good movie, even though it is a bit offensive in some ways. You know,
Yeah, so let's see if it holds up in some ways.
right? I feel like it's enjoyable enough to see, but once again, back to Reckless. It's just one of those movies. It's like what? How do I explain? How do
It's
I even
also,
begin to
I would
explain?
say, shot almost like a dream sequence. The whole damn thing, like A Christmas Story is,
Oh,
and that like it has that kind of a soapy feeling to the film itself. But I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that we're watching it on a VHS print,
oh
so
yeah,
it might
that's
just be
right.
that. But I
So
do feel like the movie is also shot very much like a dream, and that's intentional.
So yeah, Scott Glenn's the Mad Hatter, and then was it the March Hare or whatever? Mary Louise Parker, who is the supposed deaf girl in this movie. Um,
Mhm.
like
And then she reveals
I
she actually
yeah,
hasn't been deaf this whole time.
and there's not even that's not even a major spoiler because it's just there's like nine more test twists from there after that,
Yes.
and you're thrust into an action scene, and you're like it's like anyway. And the funny thing is the copy of the movie that I have on the channel is actually the one that's linked on that letterbox review. So
I think we have the only copy. Like, you gotta understand, the reason this exists on the internet likely is because of the copy that I produced, that I uh, digitized and whatnot. So, yeah. I saw it in college. It spoke to me, and I had to make sure that I had this
there
to watch for perpetuity.
there is a good chance in the coming years that we'll end up doing a spotlight episode on Reckless actually. Because there's just so
Well,
much to talk about. Like every scene is full of like symbolism and like yeah. Oh, the director Renee.
Ryan
Uh,
Renee?
no, Renee died of AIDS.
Oh, no.
in the 90s, I guess.
Damn.
That's a bummer.
I was
The
saying,
year after this came out, he died of AIDS.
damn. I was saying I thought this would be a good movie for Criterion to do. I don't think they ever would, but like it would be a good Criterion, I think. You know.
I feel like this is a
And
perfect Vinegar Syndrome uh,
yeah, they could do a good
deal
job
because
too.
it's like an independently produced film. It's regional filmmaking,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
while it is owned by Lionsgate at present, they're never gonna release it.
Yeah.
Um,
They probably don't even remember it at all or know what it is. They're like, wait, we own that
it's
movie?
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of times that's what it is actually. We're like, oh wait, own that movie? We own that movie? Like, yeah. I mean, this is why I keep a strict catalog of my collection because otherwise I go, oh, I own that movie. By the way, the first time we watched this was last year, and I gave it a 5 out of 10. This time I watched it, and it's a 7 out of 10. And next year I watch it, who knows?
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a yearly watch for a little while, I think.
Yep. First time I watched it, I was like, this is wild. I think I thought it was like maybe a 6 out of 10 at the time. But it something about it just stuck with me, and I had to find the VHS and I had to watch it again.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
This is a movie. Even if you don't think it's good the first time you watch it, guarantee it'll stick with you. Guarantee that you're going to want to go
something.
back and watch it again.
The past is something you wake up from. That is such a beautiful fucking line, reminding you not to like focus too much on the past because you're moving forward. It's already back there. You woke up
Yeah.
from it already.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of like literally talking about sleep and how when you go to sleep you wake up from the past.
True.
Anyway, we also watched Santa Claus with the Devil, but I feel like we've been talking for 2.5 hours, so I think we'll call it there. And
Well, a mega ultra Christmas special.
I guess we'll talk about Santa Claus and the Devil next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe next year. Maybe I'll save it for next year. You know what? I'll save it for next year.
Sure.
I think we'll probably not talk about any more Christmas movies next episode.
Yeah.
Which is a regular episode next week because we have so many other movies to talk about that we watched. Like literally 2 weeks of movies that we haven't talked about yet that weren't Christmas related. So yeah, we'll have some stuff to talk about that, including Nicolas Cage's Pig and a couple other things. So.
Yeah.
Any final words, my friend?
I have to pee.
Me too.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Fuck Christmas.